and 200 for shoes. And within 600, umevaa nguo zote za mtumba. The problem is nowadays that the parking is not good and the taxes ziko juu sana. Sahi hatu afford. Na parking yake haiko poa. Sasa ningetaka tu kiingia ujaribu reduce the tax and then the parking ikue poa so that we can enable it feed more than 1 million people within the whole country. Kwa hivyo vijana tunaomba ya kwamba utuangalilie sana kuhusu mtumba, ndio tumekuwa tukiridisha, ndio everything for us. Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you. Iko juu. Packaging it's bad. Packaging haiko vizuri sana, tunataka waongeze. Ngambo those are the bill. Zinakunjaga zikiwa zimepacked hivyo. Taxes ndio iko juu sana. Wanaongeza each and every day. Yeah. Sasa ndio tungeomba taxi irudi juu chini na parking wapaki vizuri na zimekuwa vizuri sana. Na they are durable, they are nice. Even the clothes they are good. Kwa hivyo tungeomba tu, and then it's affordable. Like this is a 200, you can see the price. It's only 200. Everybody can afford it. This one. Yeah. Thank you. 50 kgs. Yeah. It is packed. Inakujaga imepakiwa hivyo. Yeah. Kuna bill za clothes, kuna za viatu, kuna za nguo, kuna za trousers, jacket, boyfriend jacket, tops, each and everything. Yeah. Na everybody will afford. Yeah. Ukienda Gikomba ukiwa na pesa yoyote, unapata nguo zako za watoto nini. Na kwa hivyo tunaomba mtumba isimamishwe like what the other guy said. Yeah.
Asante sana. Your Excellency, hao ni watu wa mtumba. Huu ni hasla wa mahindi. Huyu ndio ana make sure mahasla mtaani wote hawashindi na njaa. Kwa hivyo
Nauza mahindi shilingi 100. Imefika 100. Mahindi imepanda sana kwa soko. Sasa tunanunua shilingi 50. Mimi nauza shilingi 100. But mahindi imepanda sana. Kwa hiyo biashara imekuwa chini ya mahindi. Soko. Nahesabiwa. Moja shilingi 50. Tangia mafuta yaanze kupanda. Ndio.
Utanunulia hasla mahindi moja tafadhali?
Ndio, nitamnunulia. Ndio.
Utamnunulia ama unataka kununulie?
Nataka anunue.
Mdosi amenunua mzinga moja ya mahindi mzima. Wapi makelele tafadhali? Nasema ni 100, mfungie hii moja. Asante sana. Lakini sasa hii ni kama ataikula baadaye ndio juu sasa tunapiga story. Lakini mpatie.
Angazaji kapilipili kidogo. Na kapilipili hapa.
Na ndimu.
Kandimu nini?
Lakini hizo usiweke sai. Aslan kula.
Visa wala.
All right. Asante sana, amepewa pale mali yake. Your Excellency, before you go, this is urban farming. Urban farming, hizi vitu unaona hapa zinalelewa kwa balcony
na kwa rooftop.
Wacha huu mrembo wa kuexplainia vile unaifanya.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency William Samoei Ruto. After you can see, kuna time I came to Karen and I gave you the rabbits. So the challenge, yes, after with our party leader, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi there. Yes, Your Excellency. So the challenge I can say that niliface was ever since I brought you hizi rabbits, Kenyans, especially the youth, kila mtu akataka kuziweka. So mpaka sasa wakasema, Maureen, simama hii kiti ya MCA huko Nyeri County ndio. Sasa hii mambo to make sure kila boma iko. Kama sasa hii unaona hata hii manyoya ya sungura. So now people just wear, it makes very good attire. Hata hii chakula yake, something that we can even empower the youth who are coming through school to make easy same thing na pia imakojo yake na mbolea. So everything hapa is for the youth and for the juakali sector. Yes, hata saa hii, Your Excellency, I'm from Nyeri County. Huko ndio napambana nikisema Kenya kwanza. Tuko huko na tumetosha. Hata Your Excellency, nimekuja na pikipiki. Yes. The discussion we had was that I was to see you again, but you got so busy. But I know, Leo, because you are signing the youth charter, we shall have a word and we have to talk this matter. Yes.
Oh, Hasla anajitambua. Alafu kuna huyu jamaa hapa, tafadhali, Your Excellency. Gotea mdosi.
Yeah, I'm Edwin Barare and I represent West Past Champion Youth Initiative. We deal with farming, urban farming, yeah, tree planting, flowers, and composting. We deal in Kibra Karanja Road. Yes, sir. Yes. We do sell the greens. Yeah. Yeah.
Asante sana. Your Excellency, hapa kuna hii ni creative economy. Hawa ni wasanii, hawa ni beadworks. Saki niongee sana. Mrembo, salimia mdosi na umwambie kazi mnafanya hapa.
Mr. Excellency, my name is Jacqueline Awino. We are from Kibra. We deal with beadworks. Si ufanya hizi kazi za beadworks. Ile time ndo hustle yetu. Wase wameidharau but si tumedeal nayo. Si tunaamini na beadwork na tunaamini na wewe utatuinua. Wase waamini na hii beadwork, lakini wewe tunaomba utuweze kutuamini nayo.
Sasa nakuuliza, mnafanya beadwork kama kikundi ama mnafanya kama individuals, mtu binafsi ama kikundi, na mnauzia wapi?
Si tunafanya kikundi, tulianza mimi na rafiki yangu. But tuko na watu tunawafunza ambao
wanashughulika na beadwork. Na hizi mnanunua wapi hizi?
Hizi tunanunua Kariakoo.
Alafu mnauza?
Sasa nilikuwa na
something. Pongezi sana. Asante. So nitajipanga na hii.
Your Excellency, tulikuwa tumesema zawadi zote utapewa leo utabeba. Kwa hivyo wacha avalishwe pale. There you go. Jameni watu wangu jo, hata makofi manze. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Lovely.
Haya, asante sana. Thank you. Ni wa promote Just very relax, nitawa promote. Sanitation.
Your Excellency, naomba tafadhali ununulie our earthquake boss kitu watingishe tafadhali.
Hii ni earthquake boss. Unaona vile iko chonjo sana.
Very lovely. Asante sana. So hapa ni lifestyle na dress code. Huyu anaitwa Robinson, yeye ndio mtaalamu manguo ma technique. Bro, salimia boss.
Your Excellency, habari?
Nzuri sana boss.
Mimi hata kabla tuanze niko na zawadi 4 kukupatia. Hapa naona hapa tunatengeneza jumper live. Inasema Hustler Nation. Kitu safi sana. Unaona hiyo ni yako hiyo. Kitu safi sana hiyo.
Ikiwa moto.
Tumetengeneza tu sahi. Sasa you know the real hustle. Tunatengenezanga hivi sasa huko mtaani.
Sawa.
Haya, zawadi ya pili tulianzisha the first Kenyan brand watches. Sasa tunaona hapa nimeandika WR the 5th. Na hapo kuna saa yako safi sana.
Hii watch unatengeneza hapa?
Tuna assemble in Kenya. Inaitwa Rich Black Africa.
Mna assemblia wapi?
Hapo Kamulu.
Kamulu
Yeah.
I was in Kamulu the other day.
Sasa tutajuana.
Haya, sasa nitafanya hivi. Kuna saa nyingine niko naye imeharibika strap.
Okay.
Sinaweza kukuletea
unaweza leta.
Kweli. Lakini tuta negotiate sio?
Hatuwezi kosana. Sisi ni hasa.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Afu zawadi ya mwisho pia tulianzisha first Kenyan made sunglasses.
Wow.
Yes.
Look at this.
Pia hii tukaandika hapo WR the 5th.
Wow.
Kitu safi sana. Hata kwa the case.
Naona
tumeshaandika yako hapo.
Naona nitakuwa mnoma sana.
Ni youth.
Sawa, asante sana. Nashukuru sana.
Sawa.
Lakini kibanda yako nitatembelea kule Kamulu.
Nitashukuru sana.
Nikuje nione.
Nitashukuru sana.
Zile una assemble both the sunglasses na
and the watches.
How many, what kind of outfit is it? Ni watu kama ngapi?
We have like a team of like 15 people.
15.
Like yeah, so wanakujanga.
Mnalete
depending na
so you come and assemble.
Yeah,
unazilete kutoka nje, unaziassemble hapa.
Assemble, then we sell online.
Then you sell online.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Si utanipatia online mahali naweza
nitakupatia.
Kucheki.
Kweli.
Sawa.
Nimeshukuru.
Okay, thank you.
Asante sana. Your Excellency, hapa ni makeup. Huyu ni Abigail, wacha akupigie story.
Mambo hasla?
Sawa kabisa Abi. Na mambo?
Niko poa sana. Hii ni asuli yangu, nafanyanga makeup ya harusi, ya TV set, kila kitu. Unaweza kaa chini pia ni kugroom. Before uende pale kwa screen watu wakuone kila mtu.
Nikuje baadaye ama?
Kaa chini kidogo. Saa hizi.
Wacha bosa pangwe wewe. Arembeshwe kidogo, si ndio? This is a creative economy. Msanii kabla aende kwa TV, Your Excellency, hivyo ndo anafanyangwa. Usifikiriange wanakuanga na sura mzuri sana kwa TV. Ni kupangwa. Ije, asante sana.
Ama unataka lipstick?
Niko sawa.
Tungetaka kama unaweza tusaidia because there is a bill that was being passed about taxation of the makeup things and everything. That is going to cost us when you go down, when tunaanza. We are still the smaller SMEs. Wenye tunajaribu kugrow kuchini. If you can work that out then
so unasema challenge ni taxes kwa
because unajua ikitaxiwa
beauty products.
Yeah, getting them it's not that.
But I thought we can get some of them locally. Can we?
Yeah, they can be made locally.
Yes.
But if ikitaxiwa from nje, Mkenya mwenye ako hapa nyumbani pia yeye atataka kuuza na bei, pia yeye akuwe na kitu kwa mfuko. Yeah.
So you propose we do a combination of whatever is being imported, tupunguze ushuru.
Ndio.
And then we can do what we can locally.
Yes.
To produce beauty products.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ndio.
Thank you.
Sawa kabisa.
Asante sana. Your Excellency, tafadhali ukipakwa makeup lazima upigwe picha. Photography is part of the creative economy. So karibu sana. Your Excellency, utapigwa picha hapo. Governor Alfred Mutua unaweza ukajoin. Musalia Mudavadi, there you go. Hata wewe Abigail unaweza ukajoin. Asante sana. Thank you so much. And then we move now next to this is a film industry. Hapa sasa ndio Governor Alfred Mutua amelemea.
Your Excellency, this is the creative end. You know, the photography, the filmmaking, they have their challenges. So these beautiful filmmakers will take you through it.
Wangondu tafadhali.
Thank you very much. My name is Biwangondo. I'm a filmmaker. We make films locally. We use local locations, our fashion, our culture infused into our stories. Now, my thing today, which I'd like to bring to you is, with this, your new government, are we going to have trade deals that are going to be to enable Kenya to have incentives and tax rebates that we need so that we can enable companies, international film companies working internationally to film here and be able to be an environment that's conducive so that we can compete locally and internationally. So for example, right now, productions are going to South Africa. We have the greatest weather, we have the best locations, but we can't compete with them because we can't offer any sort of percentage in terms of incentives or tax rebates. So what are you going to do for us so that then it makes sense for us at the end of the day? At the end of the day, it makes sense for us as local filmmakers when we take films, the independent films that we take to Kenyans to watch, so it's affordable even for them, then we can make money. So we are not just making films to shelve them.
So it's about money.
It is really about, it's the economy.
Pesa mfukoni?
Pesa mfukoni. What do we do? What are we going to do about this?
I like what I'm hearing. What you're saying is, what do we do to make Kenya an attractive destination for filmmaking? You say at the moment, many people find it hard to film here. We have good weather, we have the best human capital, we have good scenery, we have culture that people can leverage to do their films.
Correct.
So what are those critical things that you want removed so that we can grow our film industry? Can you tell me one or two that you think are critical?
Very good question. The same way we have trade deals that allow the UK, for example, that allows us to export our tea and flowers, is the same thing we would like for film. So that at the end of the day, it makes sense for us from an entrepreneurship perspective. Yeah, the same way it makes sense for avocado exporters. We're the same business. Yeah.
So would you want to ask Kenya government to sign with specific film producers, or do you want a general piece of legislation?
A general understanding from different countries, so that a country like Kenya is compelled to have to create content that is for exports. So it's not just making local films. We are showing them at Cannes Film Festival, at the Oscars. You know, we are able to sell our culture outside of who we are because they're so comfortable with what we have. But people stereotype us because we don't show us with the best tool that we have, which is storytelling.
Wow.
Unajua mimi niko kwa industry kidogo. One of the biggest frustrations is people being able to film in our country. People are going to South Africa and others. As Kenya Kwanza, we've been talking about removing requirements, special fees and duties for foreign entities to come and film here. Because if we stop frustrating them at the airport, confiscating their equipment, their drones and other things, if they can just walk in with the rider that they are going to employ Kenyans, then we'll get a lot of Kenyans employed by those film companies, and then they leave their money behind. So we're thinking that way to make it easier for us, so that a lot of people can get. It's funny, a lot of movies that depict Kenya, the story is about Kenya, but the story is filmed in South Africa or Zimbabwe or some of the other countries. So let them come film in Kenya, we make the money, and we're very clear about that. I don't know that will help. That helps, but we have to give international producers a certain level of percentage so that then there is competitive environment. Yes. If they film in South Africa, they're going to get 20% back off of their budget, and their country makes a bit of money that then goes into their film commission. Yeah. If we can't do the same, then we're in a position where more films can be made. This is the first year about 10 films have been made in so many years. The first year. So if we do this from the policy level, then that means the next 5 years are going to be brilliant for filmmakers in Kenya. Yeah, and with me is Karen, who she's the youngest festival director for colleges, and she has a question for you. Okay. Just before she asks the question, the other thing we're thinking about is there's a guy they call the Hustler. I don't know if you've known him. You've seen him somewhere. So this chap here called the Hustler, he has a Hustler fund. And so youth who want to go into film will qualify for the Hustler Fund so that you can actually get money to make films and make money from the Hustler Fund.
Can I say something to that, not to take too much time? If that fund can be annual and for more than 20 filmmakers every year, it will be brilliant. Thank you.
The fund is going to be annual. We are committing 50 billion shillings every year, depending on the uptake. If the uptake is more, we will commit more money, because that is money we are sure is going to stimulate the economy so that we can make more money, all of us. Because it's not free money, it's money that you get and then you pay back. But let's hear from this beautiful lady.
My name is Karen Dumia. I'm
Karen.
the founder and the festival director for Camp Film Festival. What Camp does is it offers a platform for young and budding filmmakers who are still taking film in school, in college and university. That's why Camp. And then also the budding filmmakers who have just left, and also some who are practicing and they never got the chance to join and learn film. So this year we are taking our festival in Eldoret. We made people submit their films under the theme, What Unites Us, because we wanted to use film as a tool of positive influence. And as I close, I will give you my invitation to support and also attend, which is going to be an award gala in the 2nd of July. So my question to you, now that you've just talked about the funding, there's a problem that we face in Kenya, and especially when we're trying to source for funds when it comes to film projects that are youth-led. You find that the projects are not, the funding is not standardized. So B. Wangondo can go and get 5 million for a project similar to what I'll go and pitch. And I get maybe 200,000 for the similar project. What I would want to request is when you put up the fund, let it be standardized so that it's equal for everyone and everyone is able to have the same pool of resources, and there's no one person who is getting more favor than the other. My other request would be, or rather a point of I want you to consider with your team is, when we look at the way Africa is set up and it has the youngest population in the world, and it's going to be the new frontier when it comes to the film industry. And we've seen people like Marvel, Disney setting up shop in South Africa. Now, with that kind of platform or opportunities coming, then that means we need a highly skilled workforce coming in or competing with the global professionals. My question to you would be, what is the skills framework that you have set up to offer young filmmakers to be able to position themselves and be ready to be global players, because we are opened up to the world and we are not competing as just, filmmaker from Machakos and another one in Kiambu. We are now at a global space. So what will you do to make sure that our young people are skilled enough to compete globally?
Brilliant, brilliant. I think you have spoken to the heart of why we shifted our education over the last 10 years from merely formal education to technical education. And in technical education, we are looking at skills. We are looking at competence. We don't want you to just pass an exam. We want you to acquire a skill. And what gets marked is the skill, the competence you have acquired, either as a filmmaker or a photographer or scriptwriter, that kind of thing. So going into the future, we have said, number one, we are doubling the bursary or scholarship level at HELP that's available for people going to learn skills like yours, from 11 billion to 22 billion next year. We want more students to qualify for scholarships so that the completion rate of your education is enhanced. And also, many of the people who go to TVETs or to places where we learn film drop out after some time because of challenges of financing. So we want to make that complete. We want, when we make a scholarship, we make a full scholarship so that we can look at that. Number two, if you heard me yesterday, I said we are going to change the University Funding Board, the TVET Funding Board, and also the Higher Education Loans Board, and we are going to change it so that we have the Kenya Higher Learning Skills and Funding Board, so that we can also assess how many filmmakers do we need? What is the new frontier, so that we are not left behind? We need to think ahead of time. Should we be training more philosophers, or should we be training more photographers, or more scriptwriters, or more filmmakers, or more producers? So there must be a continuous process of assessment of where is the skills going, so that we can train people in that direction. And what skills will we need next year, 5 years to come, 10 years to come? Where is the economy going? So that's what we want to do, so that we're not training people in guesswork, and we are not training more people in a field than we need. We must balance, because sometimes we have 300,000 teachers trained, but they have nowhere to work, right? We've offered as Kenya Kwanza that we're going to employ 116,000 in 2 years. But there will be another 200,000 out there. There will be no space for them to teach in class, but they're already trained. That's a resource we are wasting. So we need to balance our training. We need to spend our money well. As you've said correctly, that's the focus we want. We want to do a skills audit so that we know exactly who we have. And we have also said we are going to reform the National Employment Authority so that they become a repository of data on who do we have in Kenya, how many plumbers do we have, how many filmmakers do we have, where are the gaps, so that we spend more resources training for fields where we have gaps. Okay. That's the way we look at the future.
Okay, thank you. And maybe to just add on to your very brilliant idea is when we have the skills training go into the TVET, let's have an incentive where when these international productions come to film in Kenya, let's say, for example, the last cohort that is exiting the institution, let them be absorbed into that production and they be left with the, the skill, and they can, have it ongoing and pass it over. Thank you.
Let me tell you this. You've raised a very fundamental issue. We had made a commitment which we did not keep. But I want to promise the young people of our nation this time that we must keep the promise on making sure that internship is available 1 year or 2 years paid by the government of Kenya. 1 year or 2 years in your field. If you are a filmmaker, in the film industry. If you are a teacher, in the teaching industry. So that we provide a transition, at least 2 years, where you practice what you have learned in an environment that is conducive, that actually consolidates and solidifies what you have learned.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
You're in good hands. I'm a filmmaker, so we are going this way. This way. Kuna mnyama anaitwa Instagram. Sijui umeshamsikia? So we're doing an Instagram.
Welcome to this our set. We are live on Instagram.
Wonderful.
Do you have Instagram? Are you on Instagram?
I have Instagram, yes.
Use the microphone.
Oh, yes, I have Instagram.
You have Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, so we're here to discuss about the digital economy.
Very good.
And everything that you've talked about in the lead up to this space,
Yes.
we use the internet for it. We use the digital space to sell our things. We use it to put our film on digital platforms. We use it for music. And so it's a big space that young people occupy.
Correct.
And so I think what we would like to know is how can we make this space better to have more opportunities? Already we know that about 7.7% of the GDP is contributed by the digital economy. How do you think we can make that space better? There are a couple of people who are joining us online.
Yes.
If you can address them right there. And the people who are on these spaces are also, Instagram content creators, digital creators.
Yes.
How do we make this space better for them in our William Ruto presidency?
3 things.
Yes.
1, deployment of internet across the country. We know we have some spaces, we have places in Kenya that has limited access. We already have the fiber optic backbone quite across to every sub-county in the country. We will need to take that to what we are calling the last mile. We need to take it to the farthest that we can. Just the same way we're doing with electricity. Number 1. Number 2, we need also to bring learning into this space. I was having a discussion about Kenya Open University. It's possible with a Kenya Open University, we can have more students in one university, virtual university, than we have in all the universities in Kenya. It happens in many countries. So this is what digital space can do for us. It can expand the horizon of our learning. It can give opportunity to people who cannot pay huge fees. It makes education accessible and affordable. It makes people, content creators, have space without going to negotiate with newspapers and TV stations. I am a beneficiary of that space. When the TV stations have a problem with me, they give me little coverage. I have a huge following in that space, and it compensates for the unfairness of the media. So it actually democratizes the space of doing things, and it gives people latitude and options on what they can do. So young people who may not have so much capital to deploy, using Instagram, they can build their businesses. Using internet, they can learn. Using internet, they can sell. And using internet, they can upgrade their learning.
Interesting. And the cost of internet is also quite expensive. What do we do about that?
That is one issue we will have to deal with. There are 2 issues we will have to deal with. We will have to deal with the cost of energy, that's top on our priority list, and the cost of internet. And we will refashion, like for example, we were talking about education, that we need a special tariff on internet or electricity or water for learning institutions. I think we are going to reconfigure and say maybe in our digital hubs you can access free internet. You can, so that we make it that much more easy for people to do business, to work, and that kind of thing. So this space is really expanding. Today on WhatsApp you can talk to people in America for free. People never believed that would be. It used to cost 200-300 shillings. Now you can do that for free, and I'm sure we are going in that direction.
Okay.
So a lot of people who are actually on these platforms are young people, obviously. And we know that a lot of young people are kind of skeptical about politics. So, of course, I'm only going to ask you one more question. And what would you say to young people who don't want to vote, one, and two, who are wondering, are you actually going to do these things? And how do we know? How do we really know that you're going to implement everything that you've told us all along the way? How do we know that that's what you're going to do?
I have a track record that people can fall back to. We committed ourselves to do the SGR. We did the SGR, 700 kilometers so far. We committed ourselves to do 10,000 kilometers of tarmac. We've done 11,000. We committed ourselves to expand electricity connection. We've done from 2.3 million. We are now at 8.8 million. We committed ourselves to shift our education to technical education. We had 89,000 students in Tibet. Today we have 500,000. So I have a track record that people can look at. And finally, to the people on Instagram and those watching, it is said the punishment given to people who don't vote is to be led by fools. The moment you don't go to vote, somebody is going to vote a person you don't like. So get up, pull up your socks, and go vote. And vote for their agenda that will change your life.
Yeah. Thank you. So last question, because it's Instagram and it's a light platform. You have to tell us one thing. How did you propose to your wife? Kale men apparently are not romantic.
That's a story for another day.
That's a story for another day. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right.
Asante sana, Your Excellency. Pull. Part of the creative economy, DJs are very key to the creative economy, Your Excellency. This is DJ Keith. She's going to teach you how to DJ na pia kuambia challenges zile ambazo ma DJ wanapitia. During COVID waliteseka sana. So msanii, karibu sana ongea na boss.
Hello, Your Excellency.
Hello, how are you?
My name is DJ Tev.
DJ Tev.
Yes, I'm a female DJ. Tev as in T-E-V.
Oh.
Kulingana na kwenye ulisomea. So, challenges zangu ziko kwa hii platform yetu ni these equipments they are very expensive. So I was requesting like kwa government if tunaweza get like a loan ya kuzibuy like upcoming DJs. It's very expensive. They cannot afford it. It's almost one name. So yes, yote ni almost one name. Na ukichukua loan unalipa na interest iko high. So nilikuwa naomba kama tunaweza hiyo interest ipunguzwe. Ndo Mkenya wa kawaida like the hustlers wanaweza kulipa hata kidogo. Yes.
I thought a DJ comes with a skill. I thought all this belongs to somebody else. You just come and do your thing.
Yes.
Is that the case sometimes?
Yes, there is. People hire. Na kuna wenye they just even hiring is expensive.
Okay.
Yes. So kuna wenye wanataka zao ndo ukitoa like a gig like vile nimekuja.
Correct.
So unaweza kamda zako tu.
Okay. Is it possible, for example, for you and 2, 3, 4, 5 of your other friends to come together and own this jointly and you can share it? Is it a possibility?
Yes, you can. You can even have an academy. Academy. Yes.
Explain to me. I'm lost.
Kusoma DJ.
Yes.
Lazima uende kwa academy.
Oh, yeah,
you know, it's like a job, like any other job.
Unaweza
shule and then ukitoka.
Yes.
So tunaweza like they can have five, a group of 5. They take a loan, they buy all they have all the equipment, and then wanaweza anza kufunza.
Okay. Very good. So maybe what we will do, TEV, DJ TEV. TEV.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Is twofold. We have now a program that all students coming out of technical training with a certain skill, we are going to tool them. We're going to buy for them the first tools of trade, right? So maybe we will need to see where, like for example, if somebody has trained as a plumber, we want to have it that when they finish their course, there will be a minimum kitty that they get out of college with. If they are an electrician, there will be a minimum kitty that they can get out with and begin working next day. Maybe then it would be necessary for us to think, what do we do about DJs? What do we do? So that thing is a conversation we can have and see how that can go forward.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And you need to dance. Simama tu hapo.
Funza mdosi kudije. Afunza mdosi kudije kidogo, si ndio? Onyesha mdosi kudije vile unaifanya. Twende kazi. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies are welcome to the next booth. The next booth is all about health. Mambo ya health, na nitamkaribisha Dr. Felix. Bwana Wetangula is already here. Karibu sana.
Walisema lazima ufike ndio nipime.
I'm going to welcome Dr. Felix to take us through this. Karibu sana daktari.
Thank you and welcome, Your Excellency. My name is Felix with Focus Hospital and Medipal suppliers. So, Your Excellency, allow me to present a few issues and factors that are affecting youths in the health system. Your Excellency, we are in a devolved country whereby the health system was devolved and the human resource has become a serious menace to the counties. And looking at the facilities such as primary health care, level 3, level 4, we have insufficient staffs in those facilities. But contrary to that, Your Excellency, we have graduates from Kenya Medical Training every year. But out here, they are takamaking for the lack of job. Why is it so hard, Your Excellency, to equate that level of labor to the requirement of the Labor and Relations Act? So we believe that your government, Your Excellency, will factor in that. Go to the mashinani, Your Excellency, in a dispensary you'll find one nurse, one medical lab officer, and no clinician. So meaning access to health care in that facility is so minimum. We request that once you take a government, because we believe you are doing that, please consider equipping those facilities. Then second thing is access to health care in the devolved units. You see, Your Excellency, access to commodities that give the service has become a menace. I want to say cartels have come in. We have seen it here and there. I don't want to quote, but we have people who have expressed the prices of different commodities for their own interest. We believe that a youth leadership that directly answerable to you and to the minister in charge will be able to handle this menace. So give us those opportunities. Ama youths munasemaje? Give us those opportunities. Wamepea wakubwa wetu, Your Excellency, pesa umejua imepotea, Your Excellency. Then out here, Your Excellency, we have some very learned colleagues of ours. We produce the best specialists in Kenya. But what is happening today is that once we do that development, they are all exported. Most of them have moved to Canada. Most of them have gone to America. And it is simply because they are getting better terms and payment. I will request you, or we will request you, once you have government, Your Excellency, please consider a good enumeration for the healthcare workers. And that will work to even promote and motivate the healthcare worker, Your Excellency. Then in the last bit, Your Excellency, utilization of information management systems in the healthcare system has not been fully implemented because kusema kweli, Your Excellency, sitakuja kuambia His Excellency Musalia aniweke all details kwa computer, anipatie result, crack the patient with the same system. But that with a youth leader in such a system will work seamlessly. So we need to embrace an integrated health information management system that directly reports to the national levels and the WHO, for example. And that can only be done by a youth. That's why we are here, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Felix. You're spot on. In fact, today we were having a conversation with health professionals, and we have all agreed that if there is one field that requires a bottom-up intervention, it is in health. That today we need, if the dispensary is working, if the health center is working, it's the only way the referral hospitals can work. Because there is no doctor, there is no health professional in the dispensary, there is congestion in the referral. So we lose at the dispensary and we lose at the referral. So we have agreed, for example, as Kenya Kwanza, we know that there is a big shortage of health professionals. We have given a commitment today that next year we will hire the first 20,000 health professionals.
Thank you.
And I am sure majority of them will be the young people of our nation.
Asante.
And our approach will be tied to what you have said. The one thing that is missing in our whole healthcare infrastructure is information. And it is because it has become difficult to procure a health management system. We have tried, cartels brought problems, but I want to commit to you that it's going to be our 100-day commitment that we will have a health system management, a health management system in our country. That way, health and patient information becomes portable. And you don't have to repeat tests.
Yes.
When you go from one hospital to another, when you go from one facility to another, when you go from one county to another, you don't have to transport your health data. It will already be in the system. All we will need to put a caveat is how to protect that data from people who don't need to know it. So I think you have hit the nail on the head, and that's the way to go in matters health, and that's the only way we can secure the young people for them to be available tomorrow to build their country.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I should have given a disclaimer, Your Excellency. We have a patient who is recovering.
Okay.
So, Mheshimiwa Wetangula, begin on him. So, Your Excellency, the point that I want to bring in is mental health care. In the counties or the developed units, psychiatry service or psychiatric medical services are very much inaccessible, simply because you cannot get a psychiatric doctor in a health center, in a dispensary. You only get those professionals in a level 5, or those that have tried in a level 4. But look out here, Your Excellency, the youths are depressed. The youths are using alcohol to some extents that are becoming even unmanageable. The youths are also abusing drugs. not because of their will, but circumstances are leading them there. No, not only even the youth, even the professionals, us in the medical system. We get stressed up because of even the economy or even the items that are happening in our situation. Your Excellency, when you come in, please, let us look at those figures. It is so alarming that 1 in every 5 people has a mental problem. So I believe we can count ourselves and know who has a mental problem. But Your Excellency, please respond to that.
Absolutely. In fact, you are spot on the matter of mental health. It is really a serious problem. And you cannot just say youth are abusing drugs or youth are abusing alcohol. Even many leaders are abusing alcohol for the same reasons. Many adults I know are abusing alcohol because of pressure, so it's a societal problem, and it is a big problem. And I agree with you entirely that mental health is becoming a very serious issue, and we should train more people to deal with psychological challenges, making sure that these people can be treated with professionals who know how to handle, because sometimes you may think these people are sick, but they are not sick. They're just mentally, they have a problem, destabilized mentally, and that's what the future we want to look at. So, as you have said correctly, the training of our health professionals, especially the new fields of psychological help and support, are new fields that we need to inject more training. And precisely why we as Kenya Kwanza have said we want to merge the University House Funding Board, the TVET Funding Board, and the Higher Education Loans Board, and make it a skills and funding board, or skills and funding authority, so that we can continuously assess what kind of professionals do we need trained. And those are the people we, using affirmative action, we pay more for the people we need in our society to come and deal with the challenges that face us, rather than training more people in areas that we already have a surplus, or in areas that may not be an emergency or may not be required immediately.
Yes. So, Your Excellency, kidogo mimi na represent wale mavijana wa mtaani, masofara na vijana wana combat na unemployment. So unapata hapo kwa mental ill health wale wanaafektiwa sana ni mavijana, na vile umesema hata kuna mabuda wanaafektiwa, kuna ma-professional, but at least wewe na mabuda wanaweza afford hizi ma-services. Sisi ukienda mtaani hauwezi pata services kama ya mental health. Mali kama Nairobi County ni moja peke yake, na wanadeal na uwazimu peke yake. So unapata vijana wengi sana waliingililia hizi ma drugs na substance abuse juu ya unemployment, depression, but with the time anajaribu kutoka hapo, but sasa amekuwa so addicted, so unapata hata kutoka na kwa shida, na hizo my rehabilitation center ni very expensive. So unapata hao mahasla wa chini na masafara juu hata vile wako unemployed hawana hata hizi NHIF. So unapata hata kusaidika kwa hizi maosi ni ngumu. Unapata vijana wengi sana wanajiua, wanacommit ma crime juu ya hakuna mtu anawasikiza. So mimi ningependa tu kuuliza Your Excellency, juu sisi tunakufa na Hustler Nation kama vijana, ni mpango gani iko nyeme utatusaidia sisi kama mayouth tupigane na hii mental illness, juu hata hizi mahosia tuwezi zifikia mkubwa?
You have spoken for many, and let me tell you this, my good brother Haji. Na huyu Haji namjua kutoka mbali. Tumekutana mahali kule umo.
Ni ukweli.
Sasa what we have done with our healthcare we have done two things. We have said that our health care will have 3 layers. Even those who cannot afford NHIF, now the law has been changed so that everybody who is over 18 years, whether you have money or you have no money, you will be enrolled in NHIF. Everybody.
Thank you.
That is number one. After you have been enrolled, there will be categories. There will be categories of people like the ones you have mentioned who cannot afford. That does not mean they cannot be treated. That health insurance, the health insurance we are going to give everybody who is 18 years and above, that health card will give you treatment for what you have said, even if you don't have money. That's number one.
Thank you.
Then there will be assessment of category number 2. The people who now pay 500. We have worked out our numbers, and we think instead of those people paying 500, we will reduce it to 300 so that we can have greater access. And then we have said people like myself, who today I pay 1,700, we will move it to about 3,000 shillings every month. That way, instead of me coming to do a harambe, I better pay 3,000 and support the people who cannot afford to pay, so that all of us are covered. So that is the new strategy we have put in place as Kenya Kwanza, and that is what we are going to speak to you about on 30th of this month, and that is what we want you to vote for on 9th of August.
Kidogo na nikirudia tena, nimekwambia Nairobi County ni moja na hii ndio capital city, Your Excellency. Mimi ningeomba sana nikiotetea mayouth wengine wa Kenya, kama tunaweza create more facilities Kenya nzima, Your Excellency, ndio watu wa mashinani si lazima wakuje Nairobi kutritiwa hii mental health, na ni kitu sana inaumiza mayouth Kenya nzima. Utapata causes ya mental health, ile main kabisa, Your Excellency, ni unemployment, na unemployment iko each and every part of Kenya. So ukijenga hizi facility, si tungeomba sana we spread all over the 47 counties, ndio hata wale vijana wako mashinani wapate services kama hizi, Your Excellency.
Yani sasa wewe Haji, ulikuwa unafikiri hiyo NHIF itabenefit watu wa umo peke yao? Nikisema hiyo facility nimesema that is going to be available nationally in every county. And I like what you have said. Wewe umesema hii tatizo inatokana na ukosefu wa ajira. And you have hit the nail on the head. The real challenge we have is opportunities for young people, either to work or to do business. Wale ambao hawana ajira wakijaribu biashara wanakosa credit ya kufanya hiyo biashara. Kwa mfano, ACBO, access to government procurement opportunities. Tulipatiana 30%. Only 7% was taken up. 23% was not. What is the biggest problem? Vijana anapata LPO, anatafuta mahali ya muti supply, anatafuta pesa, anakosa. Hiyo opportunity inapotea. Tumesema wewe kijana sasa ukiwa na LPO, just LPO, tutakupatia pesa kutoka Hustler Fund usupply hiyo LPO bila ya kukuuliza maswali ingine. You don't need anything else apart from the LPO, kwa sababu LPO inatoka a government entity, na tutakupatia pesa ya kusupply kutokea hapo sasa to make sure you have been paid, and there you make your markup, and we will enforce to make sure it is not 7% as it is now, it is 30% as is provided for in the law. Tunaelewana?
Iko sawa kabisa.
Alafu tumesema vile vile kwa sababu ya ajira, na hiyo ndio conversation ya hii uchaguzi. Ajira is going to be the conversation of this election. Uchumi is going to be the conversation of this election. Kwa nini tunasema uchumi? Uchumi tukishughulikia tukishughulikia uchumi, that is how we are going to create jobs. Sisi tumesema kama Kenya Kwanza ya kwamba mwaka huu for the first time tumekuwa tukiongea tunataka kugrow the economy, alafu economy create jobs, alafu vijana wapate ajira. Lakini utafiti umeonyesha ya kwamba you can actually grow the economy but you end up with no jobs. So the economy is growing but a few people are happy. You know, tumesema kama Kenya Kwanza, we are going to be deliberate about where we invest, and our target in investing is creating jobs. Let me give you an example. When we talked about housing in the Big Four plan, it was not houses, it was jobs in the housing. That is what we were looking for. So as Kenya Kwanza, we are going to focus on investing in infrastructure, in value addition of all the products that we produce, in agro-processing, in the Juakali sector, in manufacturing, in industrialization, in areas that will create jobs for our young people. That is our target, so that we can lift many young people from where they are today. And we are going to work with numbers. When we say we want to do 100,000 houses in Nairobi, because that is where the shortage is, we are saying we want to hire at least 500,000 young people in Nairobi alone. And that's going to be county by county. And that is why we are shifting our education to TVET, so that we can produce the manpower to run our industrialization, our manufacturing, our housing agenda. And we are going to be deliberate. Are we together, Haj?
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I know you guys have so many other questions, but we have to move on to the next booth. Kuna zawadi anapewa hapa maridadi sana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, we can move to the next booth. The next booth is about sports. Hii ni njia moja vijana tunatumia kukosa kujihusisha na hizo miadarati. Hawa ni vijana wa Islando unaona hapa. Hii ni boxing ring. Your Excellency, uko safe. Uko safe. Wapi makofi ya mdosi anapoingia kukabiliana na machampe? All right. Thank you so much. So Your Excellency, this guy here is called Oscar. He's not a boxer, lakini yeye ni juggler. Yeye umeka living kucheza na hiyo ball tu hivyo mdosi. Hivyo tu. Huyu msee ameenda mpaka Ukraine before aanze maneno. Huyu ni mtu mnoma. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Oscar. Noma sana. Karibu sana. Sijui kama Your Excellencies mutajaribu. Wewe. Anaitwa Oscar from Islands. Bas, jameni ndugu zangu, wapi kelele ya Oscar tafadhali? Anasafiri mpaka nchi za nje kucheza na hiyo ball tu hivyo, anaiweka kwa mkono pale, anazunguka nayo, vile inazunguka ndio anazunguka, vile anazunguka ndio anazunguka. Sijui kama bwana Wetangula anawezana na hii. Asante sana Oscar. Wacha Mheshimiwa Wetangula tutaona kama atatoboa. Your Excellency, that's an international move. Wapi makofi ya Oscar tafadhali? Congratulations. Asla anajaribu pale. Asla anajaribu pale. Noma sana. Thank you so much. Bruce Sports, tuko na Mike hapa ambaye atatuambia mambo ya boxing and what they do mtaani. Kumbuka hii ni kikosi ambayo imekuwa mentored na Swag Master mwenyewe. Pigieni Mheshimiwa wa Embakasi makofi tafadhali. MP Theuri, thank you so much. Karibu sana Mike, utuambie.
His Excellency sir, na wasalimu nyote. Welcome to our world of sports. Mimi kwa majina naitwa Mike Mongai, coach wa boxing, team manager Nairobi County wa boxing. Matters to do the boxing. So sisi hapa tumeset stage kidogo ya boxing. We use boxing kusaidia vijana mtaani. Upande ya Eastlands kuna a lot of drugs, crime. So tunajaribu kwa through boxing and football with my fellow brothers wako kwa pitch ya mpira kumenta youth, kuwafundisha away from juu kuna ukosefu wa kazi sana. So sisi tunatumia sports ku recreate time mingi sipotee watu wakikaa kwa mabase mtani, tunazitanga base idling, zile watu wanakaa chini kwa street corners. So we try to get them from the street corners, tunawaleta kwa magym na viwanja za mpira zile ambazo ni ziko chache, tukisema to do with Nairobi juu social amenities halls hatuna. Saa ingine tuna train tu kwa open fields, kwa viwanja ambao si advisable in this sport of boxing na karate, but football inakubalika nje, na pia huko nje viwanja ni nadra, hakuna mingi za kwa estates. So hata kukuja kuperform hapa Nyayo Stadium mpira ama na kuanga ni shida, lazima tukue na pesa, na vijana ukiwaitisha pesa wengine wataenda kwa crime. So we try our level best through our fadhili kidogo. Tuko na lovers of boxing. Kwanza tunafurahia young team ya Kenya Kwanza. Tuko na Sakaja hapa amekuwa kitu support. MP George Theuri boxer amekuwa kitusaidia. Juu shida ile tuko nayo mingi ni equipment ambazo ni gloves, uniform, punching bags. Hata hii set ya ring saa ingine inanidi tunahaya kwa sababu zinakosa, wale wako nayo ni jeshi peke yake na police. So hizi local clubs, yani raia kupata kitu kama hii inakuwa ni ngumu. Tungeomba tu in your incoming government, na naamini juu nyinyi you are young, mnaelewa shida za vijana, mtatushika mkono. Hizi halls ambayo siku hizi ile county ya kitambo imetunyang'anya hizi halls, tuna train kwa hired halls, mtaturudisha through Sakaja kwa hizo halls juu ziko walichoose kupatia kama kanisa. So sisi tunapata shida, hatupati mahali ya kutrain. Inakuwa saa ingine tukienda kutrain tunaambiwa kuna mkutano ya kanisa ama zingine zimekuwa hired kwa shule. So tungeomba tu in your government mtatu consider on that part, na leo sijui ama utafanya display ya boxing kidogo na Sakaja wetu. Juu sisi tunamuitanga Sakaja wetu ni mkubwa.
Sakaja atalimo hakuna haja.
Yeah. Hiyo tu ndio tungeomba kama vijana juu e-sport pia ina pay. When we get talent from these clubs ama from these fields, vijana wanaandikwa kazi. Kuna vijana wameandikwa jeshi, wengine wameandikwa police. Juu hizo tu ndio zile shirika zina consider sports. Yeah. Kwa sawa. Na ni hayo tu kwa sai your time. Yeah. This boxing ring, because hii tulinunuliwa kitambo na Ebo MP George Theuri. That time it was like 2014. It was around 3 million. So at current cost for now, maybe if we get local, juu hata mahasla ni mawelda, wakinunuliwa hizi machuma na measurements, wapate support from your government, watazitengeza local, si lazima tuende nje kupata vitu kama hizi.
Asante sana coach.
Mike.
Coach Mungai, asante sana. Sasa mimi nataka nikuambie hivi. The whole sports space, tulisema hivi 2014, 2015 tulitengeneza sheria ambayo inatengeneza fund inaitwa Arts and Sports Fund. Hiyo fund imekuwa na karibu shilingi bilioni 30. Lakini wale waliwekwa kule ndani hawaku focus kwa sports. Pesa nyingi, hiyo pesa nyingi ilienda kwingine. Ilienda kwa mambo ya brick and mortar tena. Na tulikuwa tunatengeneza hiyo fund specifically kushughulikia wachezaji na sportsmen and women kama wewe. Mimi nataka nikueleze ya kwamba tatizo ya hiyo fund ni kwamba ile board iko pale ni board ambayo haina kuelewa. Unakumbuka hiyo board ndio ule my predecessor Mudi Awori alikuwa ameweka kwa hiyo board. Ndio watu wakalete noma, ikalete noma hivi. So hiyo board tutaibadilisha na tuweke vijana ambao wanaelewa mambo haya ya sports. Na mimi nataka nifanye commitment. Nataka nifanye commitment kwa watu wote ambao ni watu wako kwa creative industry, watu wako katika sports industry, ya kwamba hiyo fund kila mwaka the whole of it itaenda kwa mambo ya sports, kama vile sports infrastructure kama hii hapa, sports stadia, sports ile mambo yote ambayo itasaidia sports. Hatutapeleka kwingine mahali saa hizi imepelekwa. Saa hizi imepelekwa kwenda kutengeneza hospitali. Hospitali tutajenga na pesa ya serikali, lakini hii tutaweka katika fund ambayo itafaidi watu sportsmen kama wewe, coach kama wewe, muweze kupata vifaa kama hizi na kuwe na progressive investment katika hiyo mambo yote ya sports infrastructure. Tuwe na stadium. Watu wamekuwa wakiniuliza sana mambo ya stadium. Ile stadium tulikuwa tumesema 11, sasa 80% imeisha. Yeah? Lakini mimi nataka, I want to give a commitment to our sportsmen and women and the people in the creative industry that going forward the Arts and Sports Fund will be dedicated to building sports and arts infrastructure only. We are not going to commit it to do anything else as has been done in the past. And we are going to put there people who understand the priorities in matters creative industry and matters sports and culture. So we're going to put our resources there.
Asante sana.
Boss.
Asante sana. Tafadhali wapi makofi ya boss rate tafadhali. Thank you so much. Hatutaki Sakaja utapigwa, utachapwa earthquake my friend. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask your excellencies. We go back to Gumzo where we started so that we can continue the program. Thank you so much. Okay, wacha boss apige moja hapa. There you go. Bro, ukijaribu kuleta zau. Coach kuleta za ufala. Iko. Left, iko. Wapi kelele wewe? Asante sana. I think your excellencies now. Sakaja nafikiri anataka kurusha mbili. Tumemaliza. Asante sana. Let's go back to Gumzo. Asante sana. Hapo ndio mahali tulianzia. Your Excellency, vitu zote hatungeweza kudiscuss Kwa hivyo pale gumzo ndo tutaongelelea zile biashara zingine zote, all the other ideas za vijana. One more time ndugu zangu, wapi makofi ya mdosi tafadhali for taking time to listen. And Your Excellency, kuna kitu ulisahau. Your Excellency, kuna zawadi yako ulisahau hapa.
Your Excellency, kabla nikupatie t-shirt tafadhali, I have a question. Kwa majina naitwa Aisha Said Ibrahim na niligraduate last year from Kenyatta University and I was also a student leader. In as much as nasimama MCA Makina Ward in Kibra constituency na UDA, I also represent young people na students. Nimefurahi umemention story ya paid internship, Your Excellency. But mdosi wako alituahidi na hakutimiza story ya paid internship. So ningependa kuuliza on behalf of other young people. Tunajua wewe ni you have excellent track record. Na sasa tungependa kujua hiyo paid internship itakuwaje reality kwa serikali ya Hasla?
Ni deni ambayo hatukulipa, and that is why Waswahili wanasema ahadi ni deni, na hiyo ndio deni mimi nataka nilipe. This time around I must pay that debt to the young people of our nation.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Asante.
Asante sana. Your Excellencies, nawakaribisha hapa, nawakaribisha hapa kwenye gumzo. Bwana Moses Wetangula, karibu sana. Mheshimiwa Sakaja, karibu sana. Your Excellency Nyoro, na kuona, karibu sana. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Sasa ni gumzo, tuongee gumzo mtaani kidogo. Gumzo mtaani. Lakini kabla ya gumzo, wase siwasikii, wase nionyeshe mkono kama tunaendelea vizuri. Mkono. DJ, kabla tuanze gumzo, Your Excellency, unajua unaongea sana mambo ya bottom up, pesa mfukoni. Kuna mahasla nataka kuita hapa ambao wametoa wimbo ya pesa mfukoni na bottom up. Hawa ni mahasla wa Islands kutoka Buruburu. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Brooklyn Boys in the building. Wapi makofi yao? Karibuni sana manzee wase. DJ, if you're ready. Hawa
Mason. Cheki kwa nini kesho? Show. Cheki. 5-8. Show. Kwa nini kesho? Show. 8. Show. Cheki. Show. Tunkona dream kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich. Tomoke short. Nikilala moja maisha yangu kwa mkono ya God. Nimkumbuke when I'm gone. Mwendele kuplay wa songs. Eje na Emra duo. Tunkona dream kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich. Tomoke short. Nikilala moja maisha yangu kwa mkono ya God. Nimkumbuke when I'm gone. Mwendele kuplay wa songs. Eje na Emra duo. Sasa nalipa coach nikipula na rifle. Sasa tuna fumble. Watu wao wanatuconnect kama ma-idol. Wanatupenda juu tunaenda viral. Nilikuwa kwa mood mbaya nikaseti kishash nikakuwa idol. Kwa ground mambo ni nare. Maboy wanafaa reform, lakini wata reform maji na shaji wa ganji toka na dom. Niko safe, niko fit hizi zone. Dozi show venye wewe ni mbrong. Kama ni chambogi mjiwa niko na watu strong. Hizi streets nataka kwa mpole man. Yo, ama utapangwa pressure kwa sike na magun. Huko east ama tamangwa Pereka huko kitani tajali au talambwa. Mkono zimetight msema ni try hata ganda twende pia. Tuko na dream ya kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich. Tomoke short. Nikilala moja maisha yangu kwa mkono ya God. Nikumbuke when I'm gone. Mwendele kuplay wa songs. Eje na Emra duo. Tuko na dream ya kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich. Tomoke short. Nikilala moja maisha yangu kwa mkono ya God. Nikumbuke when I'm gone. Mwendele kuplay wa songs. Eje na Emra duo.
Champ na mina daizoma trophy na kauna na omokanji man. Mina daizoma trophy. Niko kwa office mimi glad tuna rock makoti. Yes you interest man noti. Maisha yangu na chia za godi. Flow yake ya majabu na hii beat ni choppy. People si set my trend na si set my subject na nimekam nimerock my blue fam. chini ni red carpet. Mafans wana appreciate talent, hadi day wata blow your trumpet. Trust, iko joke kwa challenge, mina the king, close your curtain. Na missy dema ops, wajo vele na draw your pattern. Huku days you run my ops now, less than in suckers. Looking boss you let a fracas, kama ni drill, close your chapter, take a show. Tulikuwa na dream ya kutoka kwa block, yani to get rich, tumoke short. Nikilala moja maisha yangu kwa mkono wa God, nikumbuke when I'm gone, mwenye kuplay our songs, wewe na Emra duo. Tulikuwa na dream ya kutoka kwa block, yani to get rich, tumoke short. Nikilala moja maisha yangu kwa mkono wa God, nikumbuke when I'm gone, mwenye kuplay our songs, wewe na Emra duo strong. Kwa nini kesho? Kwa nini kesho? Kwa nini?
Si kesho. Si tunaitwa Brooklyn Boys na tunatoka Buru. Na si ni mavijana wa young sana na tuko na dream ya kutoka kwa block.
Yani kila mtu ako na dream ya kutoka kwa block kama
kila youth ako hapa hivi najua ako na dream ya kutoka kwa block. Kila msana dada kutoka kwa
street,
block.
Kwa home kutoka home. Kitu kwa hiyo. Toka kwa block. Dream ni ya kutoka kwa block. Bottom up.
Kwa dedication.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate our Asla tafadhali. Asante sana. Your Excellency. Leo tutakuzungusha sana lakini utanisamehe. Naomba tukupige picha tu hapa. Hizi ndio picha tunatumia. Hii ni 360 mdosi. Ukisimama tu hapo, huyo operator anakupanga mara hiyo. Ya ukangwingwi. Unaweza fanya maneno kidogo. Hey.
Maisha ni yangu. Washugulika yako. Napendeza kwangu.
Hustler.
Washugulika zako.
Hustler. Ho. Come. All right. Asante sana DJ. Leo tutakupanga mdosi kidogo tu. Wapi makofi ya mdosi Rema Nzejo tafadhali? Ndakuomba mdosi turudi kwa gumzo ndio tuendelee na mastori. Lakini ndani ya nyumba kuna jamaa mmoja ambaye ametuinspire sana sisi wasanii, vijana wako hapa. Let's appreciate Mheshimiwa Jago ndani ya nyumba tafadhali. Make some noise for Jago, ladies and gentlemen. Karibu sana. Okay. Asante sana. Wangeshi, ningependa utupeleke na mtaratara ya hii gumzo. You're going to have 2 questions. Na wewe ndio utakuwa bosi yetu. Karibu.
All right. Karibuni sana kwenye gumzo. Na remember tuko live kwenye Ghetto Radio 89.5 and of course most of the issues ama vijana zimekuwa so much addressed and I am happy kwanza to point out a few leaders wenye nimesikia wamefanya vitu mob sana especially kusupport the young people ikuwe ni sports. Nimesikia Theuri hapo ametajwa, Sakaja and all those people wenye wanafanya vitu mob sana kusupport the young people. And I am happy also that tuko na leadership ya Kenya Kwanza Coalition and the people seated right here ni wase wana represent issues mob sana za mavijana and I'll be giving most of them a chance. Kila mtu atakuwa anauliza swali. Gonna make it so brief because issues mobs zimekuwa addressed huko kama ni wase wa biashara ndogo issues zimekuwa addressed pale and what Kenya Kwanza Coalition wana plan kusaidia wase wa biashara ndogo. So I'll shoot the question so fast to my people mwenye wako panel iko huku nyuma na ile swali ya kwanza yenye watu walinituma nayo kwa wenye walisikia tunakuja kupata na DP. Enda umwambia hatuna do. Na mtu wa kwanza hapa mwenye ana address the cost of living na venye situation iko kwa ground ako hapa kwa panel. Chipukizi utampatia microphone hasa pa ndio aweze kuuliza swali yake.
Your Excellency, mimi naitwa Duale na si ule mwingine. Mimi natoka Nakuru. Your Excellency, the price of fuel or the cost of fuel has increased the price of fuel has increased, that has make it and there's no subsidy for fuel. So, and that's making it the life of young people very hard, and they may increase peer cost of living. So we are asking, what is one thing that your government or Kenya Kwanza they're going to do about the price of fuel, and why there is no subsidy of fuel? Thank you.
Asante sana Duale. Ukifuata campaign yetu kama Kenya Kwanza, tumesema kama kuna jambo moja lazima tutatue ni kupunguza gharama ya maisha. Hiyo hatuna lingine, hatuna la ziada na si tafadhali. Hiyo ni lazima, kwa sababu wasee wengi wanalala njaa. Gharama ya bei ya unga sasa, in 2018 kabla ya handshake unga ilikuwa 75. Saa hizi ni 230. Unaona boss? Haya, bei ya mafuta ndio hiyo, bei ya petroli umesema ndio hiyo, na lazima, na watu wasiseme ya kwamba there is nothing that can be done. There are interventions that can be done. The reason why bei ya chakula imepanda katika taifa letu la Kenya is because we dropped the ball. Katika ile mpango tulikuwa nayo ya Big Four, one of the Big Four pillars was agriculture and food security. It was actually food security and nutrition. Lakini pale tulikuwa na commitment ya subsidy ya fertilizer ya wakulima. Hiyo subsidy iliondolewa. Kumaanisha fertilizer ile tulikuwa tunanunua shilingi 2,000, sasa iko shilingi 6,500. Wale wakulima wakakwama. So price ya production ikaenda juu, na price ya production ikienda juu, price ya the final product inaenda juu. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie watu wa Kenya, hasa vijana wa Kenya who are the majority at the bottom of the pyramid, that immediately we will reinstate the fertilizer subsidy, number 1. We will, number 2, make sure that we have quality, affordable seeds. Number 3, tumetengeneza a revolving fund yenye tutapatia wakulima 2,000,000. 2 million farmers, we're going to give them farm inputs. Wakulima 2,000,000 tutawapatia pembejeo so that they can produce not just enough for them to eat, but they can produce a surplus and make sure that we have food in our country. Hiyo mpango yetu, it will cost us 30 billion. Na hiyo 30 billion is going to be a revolving fund, iko na pesa yenye tutaweka hukule ndani, na tumesema pia tutakuwa na extension services. We are going to factor in extension services. Hiyo program yetu yote ita cost 50 billion. Wakulima 2,000,000. Wale tunashindana na wao, umesikia wakisema hata na wao watalipa watu 2,000,000 handout. Na hiyo handout itakuwa 145 billion. We are going to use less than half to do twice what they want to do. Na hiyo ndio tofauti kati yetu na wao, because they haven't thought through what they are saying. We have thought through what we are saying. Katika Kenya Kwanza tuko na professionals, economists, agricultural economists karibu 200 wamekuwa wakiketi for the last 1 year wakipanga vile tukiingia kwa serikali tutabadilisha mambo ya cost of living, kwa sababu hapo kila mtu anaumia. Na nimesema, na ni ukweli, matatizo saa zingine tusiwalaumu wale wengine. Unajua kama hujawahi kulala njaa siku moja, huwezi kujua kulala njaa ni nini. So sometimes we cannot blame our competitors. They have never slept hungry, so they don't know what it is to sleep hungry. Even the conversation we are having now, kwamba bei ya unga imepanda,
they cannot participate because it doesn't register to them. Shida iko wapi, you know, according to many of them. So that is why we are saying tunatengeneza serikali ya mahasla mwaka huu yenye inaelewa lugha ya mwananchi wa kawaida.
Asante, over to you, Angeshi.
All right, thank you very much, His Excellency William Ruto.
And while we are there, si unaona ule jamaa alinuzia mahindi pale?
Yeah.
Ule mahindi choma, na hiyo mahindi choma ilikuwa tamu sana, lakini sasa sikupata nafasi ya kuimanya. Lakini sasa huyo sasa ile mahindi ilikuwa 10 bob, sasa ni 50.
Ala.
You know?
And of course you can follow the conversation online. Of course #tunatumia ni freedom. Chipukizi?
Freedom is coming.
Freedom is coming. Of course, I'll be directing all the questions to the various leaders when you wako hapo wamekaa kwenye panel. But there's something else that somebody in this panel alikuwa to mention about, which was the blue economy, and it was Sankara.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and my party leader, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. I am Kennedy Ocheng Sankara from the Lakeside. Young people, what are you going to do to step up so that security of these young men are guaranteed as they push the bottom-up economy? Number two, we have seen importation of fish from China. We understand this as an impact directly on our economy, being that we stand a chance of producing fish locally, but that is being hit hard by the importation. So what are you going to do to look into to this matter? Thirdly, we have seen in the Lakeside region, there is mushrooming of slums. This has been increased through poverty, and the slums, they lack proper sanitation and they lack garbage collection. This has really affected or increased eutrophication in the lake, and that has affected the quality of water and also the safety of that water. In brief, what are you going to do to ensure that the Lakeside residents get access to clean water, and so that we improve on our health, because we both understand the meaning of blue economy? Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Sankara, sorry. Bwana Sankara, asante sana. Let me just make two corrections first. Number one, the fishing counties are both in the lake and in the ocean. So I think that blue economy covers those areas. And you're correct, that is the main activity there. Number two, let me also make another correction. We had a very robust economic forum in Kisumu and in Homa Bay. We combined the counties of Siaya and Kisumu in Kisumu, and we had close to 1,000 people in attendance. We did the same in Homa Bay. We combined Homa Bay and Migori, and we had a very extensive conversation. You remember the day I was stoned in Kisumu? I had actually gone for that economic forum. That was the time I had gone for that economic forum. So I just want to tell you that the economic forum we have attended is across the country. In fact, we are finalizing the last 6 counties tomorrow. Some people are going to Turkana, some people are going to West Pokot, some people are going to go to Musalia, for example, will be in Kitui. JB Muturi will be in West Pokot. Gashagwa will be in Samburu and other areas. And my good brother Mutua will be part of that delegation. So, and Moses Wetangula will be in Turkana. So that economic forum platform is a platform that we want to engage with citizens so that the manifesto we are developing is informed by ideas, suggestions from the people of Kenya, because this is their country and what they want to form is their government. That is our belief, and that's why we believe in bottom-up. Finally, let me come to the issues you raised. The issues of the blue economy and what are we doing to make sure that there is adequate security. There is a real challenge of insecurity both in the ocean with the terrorism and in Lake Victoria because of the challenges we have with the government of Uganda. I think as Kenya Kwanza, we have made a commitment that we are going to up our diplomatic engagement. It is possible for us to iron out the issues between the government of Kenya and the government in Uganda so that our citizens can trade seamlessly. Our citizens can engage in economic activity seamlessly. We are continuously saying borders should not be barriers. Borders should be bridges for us to move across, them to move across, and it should be bridges for goods, for services, and for everything else that we need. That's the way we look at it. Uganda and Kenya have also signed to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is another avenue we can leverage to improve the trade relations between our countries and eliminate this challenge we have that when Kenyan fishermen are arrested, they are made to eat raw fish. We don't think it is right, and we should solve it. And I want to give you my commitment that that is what we will do. Number two, you have mentioned about slums that are developing and the challenge of solid waste disposal and management. We have, for example, committed ourselves and our county leaders that going into the future, for example, Nairobi, we cannot continue to have Dandora the way it is. Dandora cannot continue to be an eyesore. Dandora cannot continue to be the health hazard that it is today. We have to manage waste in a way that we create value out of waste, because there is value. There is value in waste. There is value that we can derive from it. We can generate energy out of it. We can generate products out of it. We can, so there is huge value, and we want to make solid waste disposal and management a product, not a menace. So that's the direction we are looking at, and that is going to apply across all the counties. And finally, your issue on poverty and slums. Part of our program in managing housing in our big cities, we want to look at slums not as a problem, but as an opportunity. Because the proliferation of slums is because of the challenge of housing. There are many people who cannot afford the houses we are currently building. We have made a commitment that we are going to work on modern methods of housing, better methods of housing, so that we can create houses that are affordable to Kenyans. And we're going to have two very important categories of housing: social housing and low-cost housing. And we have committed ourselves as Kenya Kwanza that the people living in slums, some of them pay as much as 3,000, 4,000. Some of the people living in informal settlements pay as much as 6,000, 7,000. We want to change so that the person who is paying 6,000, 7,000, they can pay 8,000, and instead of it being rent, it should be mortgage, so that in 15 years, 20 years, the house belongs to them. So we want to elevate, like the slum upgrading that is going on in Kibera, we want to move it to another level where we are doing it across the city, and we are going to make funding available. We are going to make the land available, and we are also going to assist in making sure that we have a cheaper technology that can give us cheaper houses or much more cost-effective houses. So that is our plan going into the future. And as we look at that, by the way, Sankara, we are not even looking at it as a problem to solve housing only. We are also looking at it as an opportunity to create jobs for the millions of young people that do not have jobs today.
Asante sana. We are going to have the last two people asking one question, guys. Remember, those of us who are watching live from home, you can ask your question on social media. The hashtag freedom is coming. Go to Dr. William Samoei Ruto Facebook, record a video and ask him a question, and we are going to respond before the end of the program. Wangeshi.
All right,
two more, please.
Okay, just two more questions because of time. Na swali moja yenye imekuwa kisumbua mayouth sana ni the involvement of the young people when it comes to leadership. Wanasema hizi ofisi zimejaa wazee nini, but to expand more on that, I'll have one guy seated right there to ask the question.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Vijana oi, I'll be very brief because, Your Excellency, this is a very serious conversation, especially on leadership. My name is Omulo Jr. I'm a young person, a member of the National Youth Council, and a director in a party that is led by Musalia Mudavadi. Your Excellency, by extension, I've seen even in Kenya Kwanza, we have young people leading, over 70% in leadership. But today, most importantly, Your Excellency, we want to talk about issues that are affecting young people in leadership. In this Kenyan government, Your Excellency, we have challenges. At the same time, we have policies that are there, we have platforms that are there, we have institutions that are there, but they are not well coordinated. For example, Your Excellency, we have functions and programs that are put under different ministries. The National Youth Council is put under the Ministry of ICT. We have the National Youth Service is put under the Public Service. All these youth functions are not well coordinated. And giving you a good example one by one, in the National Youth Council, which is an act of parliament that is meant to coordinate, that is meant to come up with the policy issues in parliament, that is a link between the government and the youth, has not been given enough funding. Can you commit in your government that when you take over as president, you will give enough funding to the National Youth Council so that we can have elections of the youth at the ward level, representatives that will be able to give a clear direction of the young people at the ward level, at the constituency level, so that they can be absorbed at the county level as youth advisory board to be able to advise the county government on youth issues. Secondly, Your Excellency, the National Youth Service. The National Youth Service has been receiving a lot of money from the government, but the National Youth Council, the service has not been able to provide revenue to the government. They have huge parcels of land. They have a lot of resources that if we are able to tap on, they can now regenerate revenue back to the government and create more employment to the young people. Can you give us a commitment that when you take over as President of the Republic of Kenya, you'll be able to transform the National Youth Service so that those who graduate can have meaningful employment, and we can tap on the resources that are there to create more employment. Finally, Your Excellency, all these issues to be coordinated and mainstream, can you assure us that we will have a standalone Ministry of Youth that is led by a young person that will be able to coordinate and mainstream all these issues together? Thank you, Your Excellency. And because we are three, I only want to give second to Kiere and Zach to say something.
Hamjambo. Hechi, fiti. Kwa majina naitwa Kevin Kiere. I'm a wakili by profession. So just to affirm what Omolo has said, you find most of the time we have good policies that tend to favor the young people. And at the same time, the youth comprise the biggest component of our society today. But unapata at the end of the day, si vijana tunakaa kama marginalized. Actually, to make it even worse, iko kwa sheria ya kwamba vijana wao already marginalized. So to affirm to what Omolo is saying, you find that at the end of the day, these policies need to be monitored, they need to be implemented, and they need to be put in place. as much as we are doing that, we find that we have less representation kwa county assembly na kwa national assembly. Na sasa hivi tunaangalia, tunaona wamama wamejipanga na 2/3 yao. Sisi tunataka utuwashue kwa serikali yako ya kwamba tutakuwa na 2/3 ya vijana. So that in each and every ministry, in each and every parastatal, hata county administrators wanafaa kuwa vijana. Ama namna gani? Si ndio? Si ama county admin na ward admin wanafaa kuwa vijana? Si ndio? So we need to see such policies, Your Excellency, to be put in place. And even our leaders in Kenya Kwanza, they should ensure that this is the first business in the first 100 days once we form government. So that this issue of young people, 2027 tusirudi hapa tukiongea mambo ya vijana mashida, si ndio? Then at the end, at each and every International Youth Day, kindly we need a presidential address unatupatia vile tumefikia on matters youth implementation and matters solving youth issues. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Kiarie, and my good brother, Junior Omolo. Let me say just 3 things so that I can allow my colleagues also to say something about it, because it is the real elephant, you know, the participation of young people in our country, their contribution. And let me say the following. The first, our focus, you know, the reason why we have these challenges is because we need to go to the root cause. First, we must get good quality education for our young people. And we must open those opportunities for everybody. And we must allow everybody to pursue their talent. I'm speaking here as a parent. My son wanted to be a pilot. As a father, I didn't think, pilot, no. So I told him, no, you must go to university. So he said, okay, you want me to go to university? Okay, I'll go to university. So he went to university. I thought by the time he finishes 4 years in university, he'll have forgotten about being a pilot. He came back after the degree. He brought the degree and said, okay, here is the degree. I want to be a pilot. So I didn't have a choice. I had to look for a flying school for them. I want to say we must allow every young person to pursue what their talent is. And the education we have should be sensitive. If one wants to do film, one of my daughters wanted to do film, I refused because I thought I knew better. So this is why we need to look at that. So what I am saying is the following, that we must first have the right grounding for our young people. Number 2, all the opportunities that already the law gives to our young people, all the opportunities, whether through AGBO, we must make them accessible, whether through other interventions, when the law says a certain percentage of people must be represented in the youth, must have a certain percentage in county assemblies, we must actualize. In National Assembly, we must actualize. In employment opportunities, we must actualize. So that at every stage, we are carrying the young people along. What are we doing as Kenya Kwanza? We have said what we will do in education, in health, and we have made our contribution in nominations. We commit that we will have a youth ministry. That's number 1. But beyond a youth ministry, youth issues cut across ministries. Youth issues cut across government. You cannot consolidate all the youth issues into a youth ministry. Do we agree? So additionally, I have made a commitment that there will be a young person to represent young people at the presidency, and he will be a member of cabinet so that that young person, being a member of cabinet, can speak authoritatively to every issue that comes to cabinet from every ministry and make sure that it is youth sensitive. Whether we are discussing road construction, or we are discussing agriculture, or we are discussing health, we must carry along the voice of the young people. And I have said we will have that young person at the presidency, but sitting in cabinet, so that the youth issues that cut across all other ministries are addressed. Let me finally maybe give an opportunity to Musalia Mudavadi and then maybe Alfred to say something I've forgotten.
Thank you. Maybe I'll just be a little bit personal. I'm a living testimony of youth that can be nurtured. I became minister at the age of 28. And I became Kenya's Minister for Finance at the age of 33. So it is so clear that as we speak, it is the talent. And you are the ones who can get us out of a lot of challenges. Because as I say, I went personal. I was going that way because it's as if history is reliving itself. Right now, Kenya is in a boiler room. I don't know whether any of you have experienced what a boiler room is like. If you go there, it is so hot. And if there's no ventilation, you'll die and suffocate in there. The Kenyan economy is in a boiler room. It's like a boiler room. The cost of living is biting. It's making it extremely difficult. Now, I bring this narrative because a few days ago, I saw a narrative that is saying the young people do not have a vote. The young people have no capacity to bring change. The young people have no capacity to give us the freedom that we are talking of, that freedom is coming. I know they are wrong, and we must prove them wrong. You, as the young people, must be at the forefront of redefining the destiny of our country. And to do so, come out and vote. Be the difference that Kenya requires. Now, when we talk of involvement in government and so forth, I want to say that in my closing remarks as I walked here, when I was at the point of despairing, I can see hope. You are our hope. You are Kenya Kwanza. Let us put the nation first. There are challenges, but there is nobody who is better placed to face those challenges than the younger people of this country. As Kenya Kwanza, we commit. If somebody held our hand before and pulled us from our youth to where we are committing that as Kenya Kwanza, we shall do the same because there is no alternative. Thank you.
Let me ask my good brother Ndindi Nyoro, as a young person in our Kenya Kwanza fraternity. He is very passionate about certain things, and whenever we have a discussion, he brings a lot of wisdom from young people. Ndindi.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, even for accepting that we have a ministry dedicated to youth affairs. Also, Your Excellency, I'm sure we've had this discussion for a long time, in regards to matters of youth involvement in governance. And the work of this ministry per se will not be basically as a representative of the youth. The work of the ministry is to mainstream that even in the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Roads, the Ministry of everything, the youth must be properly and ably represented across. And not just as kanda za moko or watu wa mkono, not in the lower cadres. Mheshimiwa Mudavadi was a minister at 33. He has made me feel so old that I'm just basically an MP at my age. And I'm sure across even the many nations in the world. The current president of France was elected basically as a youthful person. Even historically, the minister, the late president, the best president of Kenya, Mwai Kibaki, actually became a CEO of the then leading party at barely 30 years. And that is why he was able to be nurtured to become what he became. Even the leadership represented here, and I'm throwing this challenge to the youth of Kenya, and also to the people of Kenya to thank them for giving the youthful people opportunities. All our leaders represented here, starting with Honorable, our 5th President, William Ruto. He became MP at 32, at 31 actually. The Honorable Musalia Mudavadi became minister at 28. Honorable Etagula became an MP at a youthful age. What am I trying to say? That we aspire as the leaders of Kenya, youthful leaders, to become leaders at our tender age. But also the people of Kenya to give us an opportunity. So that, because when you become a young leader, you are able to be nurtured, you are able to go through experiences that actually make you a better leader even in the years to come. Lastly, Your Excellency, we've been talking about many things, and I thank you because the youth of Kenya are at the center of making the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza. And I can authoritatively say the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza is actually a manifesto of the youth of Kenya.
Absolutely.
You have given us a decision, myself included, to be at the center. You are actually at the periphery, the other leadership, and I thank you for that. One of the main issues I want to address that I am sure will also be mentioned on the 30th is that beyond, I am sure we are very passionate as Kenya Kwanza about an inclusive economy, about the hustlers, and we are going to do that. But the hustlers actually give a basis of market for even the larger companies. We'll be very deliberate also in terms of the youth in the creative sector, in the IT sector. And we will have an Ubunifu Fund, which will actually focus on guaranteeing finance to those people with imagination, with ideas within the tech space. And the government of Kenya is going to guarantee crowdsourcing and also Series A funding of all the tech ideas so that the many people of Kenya, youthful, in our universities, doing elaborate things around tech. The only missing link is finance. The government of Kenya will bridge that gap by guaranteeing Series A funding and also attracting venture capital, attracting private equity, so that Kenya can become a Taiwan of some sort, can become a Vietnam, can become a South Korea. It is doable. It is going to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Alfred Mutua has a small issue, and then we'll take the last question.
I also became, in my DVD, I also want to be personal. I also became the government spokesman at the age of 33. And that's the kind of government that we as Kenya Kwanza, under the leadership of William Ruto, wants to put in place. One that recognizes talent and ability. But to young people, I want to tell you one thing. Leadership is not given, it is taken. Do not wait for it to be given. Mkipoa tu mnasare mnangojea timpewe, hamtapewa. Mnaelewa? Lazima ujitokeze so that you know that ujitokeleze, so that you know that you can actually be seen. But also, you need a government that will give an opportunity to young people. Sindio? if you compare the two governments, the Kenya Kwanza government with the other Kuzimia government, if you compare the two of them, you can tell, you know, which one is more progressive, which one will be able to take us forward, si ndio? Ukiangalia wale kweli wana time yetu kweli, at their age and where they are, really it is not their fault, but it is where they are, si ndio? So lazima Mbogi, lazima tukairada, si ndio? Tujipange ndio tuendelee vizuri. The other thing is to look at things like the youth fund. There's so much bureaucracy in this country against the young people. I was talking to Mheshimiwa Ketere earlier on today. If you are applying for a job, all those things unaambiwa ulete sijui certificate ya DCI, good conduct, nini. Na ulikuwa unataka tu kwa mpishi. You know, a lot of things that are not necessary. So one of the things we're going to do is to remove all this bureaucracy. When you're applying for jobs, kama ni ya security, let your security, not all these bureaucracies that are tagged against young people. I love those advertisements that say you need to be over 35 years, ama unaambiwa you need 15 years experience, unaelewa? And with the majority, it cannot work. But you know, these changes, young people, my friends, will not happen unless we all come out and vote properly. At the end of the day, we have to make a... And unajua wahenga wanasema, ujana ukama moshi, ukienda haurudi. We are young people. Masaa ikipita, yamepita. Si ndio? Wale wase wengine, umesikia Manueli akisema, hawajui njaa. They have grown up well. One, ukiangalia vile wamejipanga, one was the father was the president. The other one, the father was the vice president. Hawajui shida. Hata ukiangalia vile wana move, weko sawa kabisa. Wanajiita baba na mama, lakini ukiangalia naona ni babu na nyanya. Because you know, they have nothing to offer. So you are... na si ni ukweli? Si jamaa kitendawili ana grandchildren. Si mwingine wa simio, yuko grandchildren, si ndio? Haro, yuko na grandchildren, si ndio? Ni babu na nyanya. Now they do not have a solution for the young people of this country. We are facing a myriad of challenges. And I'm telling you that the march that we have to go, the transformation that this country needs, will need somebody who has the energy to work. We are not going to be taken for granted anymore. The time for change is here. Watake wasitake. It is a time for us, the young people of this country, to take over. And we'll do that with Kenya Kwanza. Kwa hivyo nawahimiza mwisho, ukitoka hapa, hizi stories zote tumepiga leo, everything we are doing here will come to nothing if you do not go out and tell other people that stories are hadithi za babu na nyanya hatutaki na eka za bunwasi, tunataka hasla na hii mambo yetu ambayo tumewaletea ya kusonga mbele. At the end of the day, it's about money in the pocket. It's about money in the pocket, and this team will give you money in the pocket.
Okay.
Asante sana, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. I think we are going to have the last question. Na mkinikubalia, wacha tupatie Katelo aulize mdosi swali moja tu. Karibu bro.
Oh yeah. Mweshi kitu yenye naweza taka kuuliza, sisi mavijana na watu wanaitwa manjege ama masanse ama mangure, kuna venye relationship yetu nao sisi kama vijana, kuna venye inakuanga imedorora sana, yani kuna venye unanipata like manjege ni mandugu wetu wakubwa, lakini pia wakipatana na wewe choche mbaya. Kuna venye wakipatana na wewe ni kijana, kuna venye wewe polisi ana dealing na wewe tu, yani design fulani. Pia akipatana na wewe kwanza ni kijana, alafu kwanza ikwe ni kayole na ikwe ni kwa choche na usiku bana. Yani relationship yetu kama ma youth man na manjege inaweza improve aje kidogo, tuelewane kidogo, tuweze kuishi pamoja juu so far tumeshindwa kukaanisha bana. Ona kuna venye bana jo ukiwa na madredi, kuna pia mayutu wana madwa ma innocent extrajudicial killings. Unapata youth ameshandwa na ni innocent, kuharasiwa, kukuja mnabebwa hapo, mnaenda mnaingizwa hapo stage, mnatoka sijui na madhao na labda wewe ulikuwa umetoka kufuta ya magizani ama ulikuwa umetoka mboka. Relationship yetu na mangure ita improve aje?
Your Excellency, manjege ni polisi. Najua umepotea. Manjege ni polisi na mayouthman ni watu kama yeye. So anasema polisi na vijana kutakuwaje? Hiyo story yote tu.
Kwanza nataka nikushukuru sana Katelo kwa swali lago. Manjege sasa tutawapanga. Masanze tutawapanga. Kwa sababu tumesema hivi, tatizo ya hawa manjege ama polisi ni kwamba kwa muda mrefu ile package yao, mishahara, terms of service haijaangaliwa kwa karibu miaka 15 hivi. Tumesema kama serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kwamba tutashughulika na maslahi ya public servants. Wale wote wanaofanyia kazi raia wa Kenya lazima pia tuwashughulikie. Na tumekubaliana ya kwamba hawa manjege lazima wapate training ya kujua ya kwamba waelewe kwamba kijana akifaa dreadlocks sio mhalifu. You know, kama huyu Haji hapa. So na pia tuelewane kwamba tukiimprove standard of employment na terms of service ya polisi wetu, pia tutaketi chini na wao, kila mtu akunywe chai kwake. Story ya kukunywa chai barabarani tuache. Si ndio? Kila mtu akunywe chai kwake. Si ndio? Alafu tumekubaliana vile vile ya kwamba tukienda mbele, security ni ya muhimu. Na security inaanza na wewe pale mtaani. Pia na sisi kama citizens ni lazima tuwe responsible. You know, we must be part of the policing of our neighborhoods. You know, pale kwa neighborhood ni sisi, you know, ndio tutashughulika na kujua nani anafanya mambo ambayo sio mazuri. Hiyo nyumba 10 kila mtu aelewe nini, ndio tuwe na neighborhood yenye iko na usalama. Sio pale reduce ile interaction na police. Na tungependa vile Sakaja anasema yeye Sakaja anasema anataka yule mtu wa kanjo akikuja kwako sio kuja kukuharas, ni kukuuliza ni vipi hii biashara yako tunaweza kusaidia ikuwe bora zaidi. That you know the kind of relationship we want to build with our public servants, whether they are the police or they work in the council or they work in the county or any other thing. Maybe I can ask my good deputy to say something about Bwana Gachagua.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It is true, the way this young man has put it, our policemen over time have decided that being young is a crime. And it isn't. It isn't a crime to be youthful. And what we are helping our presidential candidate, we have started having a conversation with our officers informally. Na tumekubaliana na hawa. Mambo yao ikiangalia wapewe mshahara na marupurupu, pia hao wakuwe waangwana. Hii maneno ya kitu kidogo wawachane naye. We are telling them, hii vijana wakipatana nao usiku ameshikana mkono na girlfriend yake, that is not a crime. It isn't. Na tunawaambia hawa tunataka tukae kama the first world in America, where the police and the citizens ni marafiki. In that part of the world, polisi wakipatana na wewe usiku, if you are drunk and you are driving, they put you in the police station so that you get over the drunkenness. Ukishakuwa soba wanakupatia gari yako naenda nyumbani. Tunaambia the kind of reforms we are thinking about, and we want to give you an assurance. Within 6 months, tunataka hao polisi wakitembea usiku wapatana na wewe na girlfriend yako, mnatoka sinema ama disco, mmechelewa, wakikuweka kwa Land Cruiser, wasikupeleke police station, wakupeleke mpaka nyumbani. And I want to assure you, hii maneno itawezekana because the police themselves, police wenyewe are also tired of harassing Kenyans. Hata hao wanasema hawaoni haja kuharas watu. So tumekubaliana tuangalie mambo yao sawa sawa, na hao pia wakuwe watu wazuri, so that we live well with them. Si tumekubaliana? Kwani kwenda disco ni makosa? Kwenda sinema ni makosa? Kushikana na mrembo mkono ni makosa? There is nothing wrong. That is part of teenage life and is part of growing up. And that is what we want to tell these police officers. Because at one time they were young. Labda hao walifanya wamejificha, vijana wale wanafanya openly. So that conversation is going on. We want to give our young people an assurance that we shall have a friendly police service whose work is to protect the people of Kenya, not to harass them. Tumekubaliana? Asanteni sana.
Maybe finally, let me ask our governor candidate. Kwa sababu tuko city, Kanairo ni city ya mahasla. Na tunataka atuambie kwanza pale kwa takataka. Umesikia takataka hapa imezungumziwa. Umesikia pia mambo hiyo ya askari. Na unajua watu wakisema askari, hata kanjo wako hapo ndani. They want something to hear from Mansaks.
So, thank you Excellency. Wacha kwanza nataka kubanja na mavijana. Hii story ya Mangure ni ukweli. Mara mob ni vile wako unenge na hawakai vifiti. Being a young person si crime. Na nguri mingi hata zinaweza malizwa mtaani tukiriorient vile wanadu job. Hata wasa wakanjo. Haifai kwa tikanjo wakikucheki kazi yao ni kukufukuza. Wanafaa kuwa wanakusaidia kuduyo busy yako fiti. Because if we reorient how they think, that ukisaidia huyu kijana kona hapo ameseti troli yake, revenue itapanda pia na yeye. Do itakuwa mingi juu mavijana Nairobi tunasema janta ni janta, dondo inamata. Si ndio hiyo? Mboka ni mboka. So that is the opportunity we are going to give in this city. Ya pili, mavijana wajue pia lazima tuwe na opportunity. Mimi pia ni kijana. Madividi amesema vile alianza kiwa kijana. Mdosi amesema vile alikuwa kijana. Nilikuwa chairman wa TNA nikiwa ruling party nikiwa 26. Nikiwa 26 nilikuwa chairman wa ruling party, 27 nikakuwa 28 nikakuwa MP, 32 nikakuwa senator na 37 nitakuwa governor wa Nairobi. So mimi example tu, mavijana wanahitaji tu opportunity. Na mimi nikipenya juu nimepata hizi machuo mzangu nimevuka, nikipenya hivi na ekangazi mavijana wengine pia wapande. Because what the young people want is just an opportunity. And if we are not on the table, we are on the menu. So we have decided to be on the table as young people. Hizo stories za takataka simnajua Nairobi hizi makateli vile zimejaa na vile zinadubizi. Sisi tumesema mama vijana wanadu hiyo job ya tako mtaani, instead of a few guys making millions and billions out of it, mavijana wanaweza hiyo kazi. We can do it. So we are going to incorporate young people kufanya hiyo kazi. Hizi crime mingi zimetoka because of lack of opportunity na busy iko. Nimesikia stories za sports, nimefurahi zile job akina Theory wanadu, Anthony Waithaka, Makadara vile anadu, na ma-MP wetu wote kina Nixon, kina Korir wote. Hizi mawanjo zetu mingi zimekulwa, si ni kweli? Ma social halls zimekulwa, watu watazirudisha. We will return all social halls in every sub county ambazo zimeenda, wale wameiba lazima watazirudisha. Kuna sports mingi, kuna ball, kuna rugby, kuna iblo. Iblo ilikuwa kubwa sana zamani. I was patron of boxing professionals. Tulikuwa na Mudhurwa Sports Club, boxing, Kaloleni, hizo side zote Jerry. We must bring them back. And in those social halls, we're also going to add libraries. Ndo watu wetu waweze kusoma. Si ni kweli? Waweze kusoma pia. Hizi grau kama za D, Your Excellency, Dandora Stadium vile ilisimama na nikaipigania kwa Senate ikaweza kurudi, at least tutaimaliza. Vile hiyo mradi ilisimama, kuna mavijana walipata wameangushwa huko LD because they went back to crime. The young people go back to crime because they also want just to feed their families. They have no option. We are going to give them opportunities in Nairobi City County. Labda ya mwisho nikimalizia, hiyo story pia ya mbili. Moja ni ya wasanii, ingine ni ya drugs. Mavijana, hii story ya drugs imekuwa mob sana. Many of our hospitals, Your Excellency, and I'm glad you've addressed it. The people who get opportunity for rehabilitation are those who are rich and wealthy. Because many of these, ukiana sijui Chiromole, nini domingi, ukiambia mtu ni Mathare ni wale wamesha chizi. Hivyo ndo wanaicheki. Every health center in Nairobi, because I studied this issue and I realized clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, etc. are not in the schemes of services of county governments. Minta awandika job. So hata kama niyo dispensary kwa hapo, health center, level 3 kwenda juu, you can get help. And young people, it is okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. Bonga na mtu, msijipeleke na hizi mapresha za Instagram, sijui unaonesha umepiga look, nini na una do. Let's leave that peer pressure of trying to keep up with the Joneses. Tuishi tu ile maisha uko nayo, mavijana ndo wako na shida, haongelesha nangi ukiona shida. But we'll create those opportunities. Ya mwisho ni story ya arts. Your Excellency, mimi nilikuwa msanii. Tungekuwa na time ningeroga kiasi, lakini sasa naenda kiti ya governor, so siwezi kwa naroga saizi. But Your Excellency, young people for a long time, and I'm glad you supported this fight, because Skiza Tunes ilikuanga wanapata 16%, nimeipush ikafika 40%, and I know it is going to 51%. We need our media houses who are listening to us and you know are here covering us. Ukiamka asubuhi unasha TV ni Alejandro, jioni ni sijui Kondo SMEs. Yet mavijana wako na talent Kenya. The arts and film industry, we must get 60% local content on our TVs, on our radios. Na musicians wetu wapatiwe hiyo opportunity, because we have real talent in this country. Unless we have a quota system of the amount of music and film and even advertisements. Watu kupigwa mafaini kupiga picha tao ni juu ya nini? Hiyo ni uvala sana. In a public place you take photos or photography or you have a drone, you're fined. In Nairobi those things will end. Please be assured of that. And I want to assure you finally that with our election, Your Excellency, huyu mdosi anaitwa William Ruto ni mzee wa maana sana. Ni mzee wa maana, ametupatia opportunity. Ile side nyingine tulikuwa tunashoyo ati sisi mavijana sana hatuwezi kwa viongozi, ati sisi kwa governor. Jumeni kijana, yeye amenishika mkono, simpige makofi. Na vile amesema gava yake itakuwa na Ministry of Youth, Your Excellency, kwanza kushikilia kwa mili hapo. History ya mainstreaming tumedanganywa miaka mingi sana. Haikuangi ati will mainstream in other ministries, tuliambiwa hivyo 10 years ago, it's never happened. Just give us a youth ministry that cuts across all issues of all services in different ministries, and have your governor candidates tukiongozwa na 047 Nairobi also committing to have youth ministers in our CECs, my chief officers, so that you mainstream them. You can't have mzee yako 90 anapiga story ya Vision 2030 nataka washaenda. Or creative economy. Mzee yako 90 anatuambia Vision 2030. I mean, we don't decide who lives for how long, but by natural attrition hawatakuwapatia kijana apige hiyo shughuli, and we can do it. So vile Alfred Mutua amesema, history yote itakuwa tu ukiweka pale inatakikana. Kenya Kwanza, president ni nani? William Ruto. Na governor Kanairo ni nani? Asante sana, Excellency.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate our incoming president afadhali. By the way, just to add value, during COVID, wasanii tulikuwa kwa ngori sana. Na Your Excellency, you really supported us and we didn't take that for granted. One more time, we appreciate him this way tafadhali kwa kusupport. Na pia Moses Kuria nimemuona hapa. Moses Kuria ndo alinilipia ndege yangu ya kwanza kwenda nje ya Kenya. Asante sana mdosi. I think madam hatujawasikia hapa kwa hii panel ya leo, si ndio? Wacha tusikie warembo hapa waulize maswali. Ndaanza na mrembo hapa, useme jina yako alafu useme swali yako.
Kwa majina ninaitwa Antonella Kakuko, natoka Tiati, Baringo County. Your Excellency, I have one question touching on security. That specifically is a question concerning cattle rustling and banditry. What measures is your government going to put place to ensure that banditry, cattle rustling has been put to an end and the perpetrators of such acts be brought to book? The other question, Your Excellency, is on the rise of abductions and extrajudicial killings through juvenile gangs that have mushroomed in our country. What measures is your government going to put in place, or what policies is your government going to put in place to ensure that we have a secured country? Because security is an aspect. Security is an important aspect in a country, especially for the development of both economy and social aspects of life. What measures is your government going to ensure that we have a secured country, especially in parts that are affected by banditry, northern parts of Kenya?
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Security is the cardinal principle of governance.
Tafadhali.
And having a secure country is at the heart of any functional democracy. Our plan on matters to do with security, especially when you talk about banditry, when you talk about cattle rustling, the problem with banditry and cattle rustling is that it has been given a political face. It has become commercial. It's no longer a crime in certain areas. It is funded. It is protected by politicians. So, as Kenya Kwanza, we're going to go beyond and look at the root causes of what is going on. We have also undertaken that we need a systemic change of some of the communities that continue to engage in cattle rustling. We have proposed, for example, that we are going to have special schools in ASAL, arid and semi-arid areas to take care of the children of pastoralists who keep moving from one place to another, and so that progressively we can create a new community of pastoralists, people who have gone to school, people who appreciate knowledge. Secondly, the problem in those many cattle rustling areas is infrastructure. Many a times, even the police cannot get to those areas. So we have to open up. We have specific roads in many of these areas that we have been requested to be able to put up, so that these roads are security roads and they make it easier for government to respond. And thirdly, is the whole thing about infrastructure. We need dams, we need water for people to feed their livestock, so that we avoid the movement from this corner to that corner and the other corner. We begin to settle these people in a way that their life is predictable. And that whole space of security is something we will want to deal with. But from a banditry cross-border point of view, I just want to give one commitment as Kenya Kwanza, that extrajudicial killings will stop. Let me repeat, extrajudicial killings will stop. No citizen will be executed without due process. If anybody is a criminal, he must be taken through the judicial process and proven to be a criminal. Nobody will be shot. Many young people in our slum areas lose lives because they are suspected to be this or suspected to be the other. Maybe the way they dress, maybe the way they speak, maybe the people they, you know. And so we must be categorical, because the Constitution does not allow anybody to be executed. It's only people who are taken through a process. I will ask Moses Wetangula to, I know it goes all the way to the realm of terrorism and that kind of thing. Please, party leader.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Vijana hamjambo. Tunashukuru sana kuwa na nyinyi hapa leo na nakubaliana na yale His Excellency amesema. Nobody, and we mean nobody, in whatever category has the right to unlawfully take away anybody's life. So mambo ya extrajudicial killings, we want to put our security apparatus on notice that if you obey unlawful orders to extrajudicially terminate anybody's life, you'll be taken to court and be charged with a homicide like any other murderer, because that is what you are. But over and above that, Your Excellency, mambo ya cattle rustling, mambo ya banditry, it also has been escalated by a lack of goodwill from the government. If the government had the will to stop banditry, it would have stopped it. And I want to commit that we as Kenya Kwanza will have absolutely zero tolerance to any acts of banditry, cattle rustling, or lawlessness that make our citizenry uncomfortable or destroy their properties and their lives in whatever form, in whatever place of this country. Lastly, I want to urge vijana wetu. You know, we as party leaders work with young people like you. In my party, I have one of the youngest candidates in Kenya today, a 19-year-old Halima, is an MCA candidate in Wajir. We've given her a ticket. We didn't charge her any fees. We are supporting her to campaign. In 2017, we took a young girl from Must University in Kakamega, gave her a ticket, supported her, and she defeated 16 men to become an MCA. She's now on the highway to be elected the second time. In our list of nominations, we have university students, tertiary students, put on priority list so that they can start from there and develop themselves and mentor others. But we come back to what Alfred Mutua said, that is all up to you to take the initiative so that power is never given, it is grabbed. Lastly, young people. History is replete with young people who have made phenomenal mark in life. Michael Jackson became a star at the age of 8. Jesus Christ was killed at the age of 33. Nobody has forgotten who he was. Prophet Muhammad, Fidel Castro and Che Guevara stormed in Havana to overthrow the government of Fulgencio Batista at the age of 24. And we can go on and on and on. It is an opportunity available. Join this exciting movement of Kenya Kwanza. You will be part of the government, you will be part of the movement, you will be part of the success, and we shall all sit at the same table to talk about your future. Thank you.
Asante sana. I think the last question, I'm going to request Amina. Just one more question, my dear, and then we finish up. We go to the next part of the program.
Good evening. My name is Amina. I'm from Wajir County, and I'm part of the UDA Youth Congress as a leader. My question to you, Your Excellency, is in terms of the ID accusations of northern people from the northern part of Kenya, especially the coastal parts and the northeastern parts of Kenya. Your Excellency, we face difficulties in getting these IDs at the immigration centers due to vetting processes, which we are actually told to bring our grandfathers, and sometimes we are even told to bring our area chiefs, but unfortunately some of our grandfathers are dead. So what happens to such people who don't have grandfathers? We have to wait also a waiting period of 1 year, while the rest of Kenyans usually get it in 2 days or a maximum of 1 week. So what will your administration do to make sure they come up with a different solution than what we have in the previous regimes, especially in terms of ID acquisitions? And in terms of ID acquisitions, you can understand somebody can be a university student without an ID. So kindly, we would like to have your government focus on that issue. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate what you have said. People in northern Kenya and some parts of coastal area undergo when they are looking for identification cards. I have spoken to many people. I was in Modogashe the other day with my good brother Aden Duale, and it is heart-wrenching to hear the horror stories. We have women 40 years old. We have very many people who've even opted to be refugees because they have no option. So the Kenya Kwanza government will not run two different sets of citizenry in Kenya. There is only one citizenship of Kenya. We cannot have two sets of laws. The same requirements that is required of a Mr. Kipkoech or a Miss Otieno or a Miss Kamau should be the same for Halima and Haisha and Mohammed. It is as simple as that, right? So we will make sure that we implement the same requirements for identification for everybody. At the moment, that's not the case. People in northern Kenya are asked for ridiculous vetting mechanisms. So the vetting mechanisms that do not apply to other citizens will be abolished so that every citizen can have the same requirements for acquiring title deeds. Secondly, I know, for example, the passport office that was in Garissa was closed. And therefore, everybody in that region have to find their way to Nairobi to process a passport. We will open the office in Garissa because it was doing a wonderful job. And we will staff it properly so that everybody can have access to government services, including passports and IDs. Maybe JB Muturi, you have been Speaker in our National Assembly, and you know many members of Parliament have come to your office on this subject. One, of extrajudicial killing, and two, of matters to do with identification and the unfair practices that occasion people from northern Kenya. I don't know whether you have some thoughts.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And I want to confirm that indeed we have faced, I have on occasion, numerous occasions been petitioned by members of parliament from Wajir, Garissa, Mandera, and quite surprisingly, Your Excellency, even from Busia and Bungoma and Turkana. It's as if the system that we appear to be using in those frontier counties is one of criminalizing being neighbors to our neighbors. It's as if you are treated as a lesser Kenyan because you come from a county that borders our neighboring countries. Yet we are talking of integration within not just East Africa, but the entire continent. I believe, Your Excellency, the experience that has been there in the past is one that we, as Kenya Kwanza, should begin by removing, as you've stated, Your Excellency, all requirements that appear to have the force of law, because indeed they are even unconstitutional, actually. Illegal. A procedure that is unknown to law, but is only applied to sections of Kenyans. I think it is in the 21st century, 60 years after independence, I think it's a shame, and we must do away with that. Indeed, Your Excellency, I am aware, I've dealt with those issues even when I used to work in Western Kenya. Honorable Wetangula is quite alive to the fact that some of their people would be subjected to similar treatment. And I know, Your Excellency, the commitment that there is within the Kenya Kwanza team and the zeal with which we intend to approach this, the governance of this country, is one that will give pride to everybody to say that they are Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tafadhali nawaomba kwa heshima, Asla nakuja hapo kwako bro, usijali. Tuwapigieni hawa viongozi wetu makofi tafadhali kwa kuchukua muda kuzungumza na sisi. Your Excellency, we say thank you so much. Thank you so much Ghetto Radio. Wangeshi tunasema asante sana. Tumekuwa live manze Ghetto Radio. All the panelists, we cannot talk all of us, but nawashukuru sana sana. Kwa hivyo kwa heshima na wauliza viongozi wetu, we go back to our seats and then we can go on to the next part of the program. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Usiogope bro, niko na wewe. Usiogope bro. Program ni refu. All right, karibu sana. Ako wapi Asla? Kuja bro, kuja bro. Kuja. Tuweke mikono tu hapa juu 1 minute, tu stretch kidogo. DJ tucheze hiyo ngoma. Kila mtu mikono hapa juu. Nimeambiwa na watu wa TV, one more time, tuweke tu mikono juu, tuimbe ngoma like we mean it, so that wale wako nyumbani wajue freedom is coming. Weka mikono juu hivi, weka mikono juu kila mtu. Let's go! Everyone! Katolo! Ho! Tabara! Swaski! Ho! Kila mtu! Hey! Asante sana. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Thank you so much. You may have your seats. Thank you so much. Nimeambiwa Walande. Ni vizuri sana kwa sababu huyu mtu nataka tumpatie dakika 2 atusalimie. Ni mtu ambaye ameinspire vijana wengi sana. Ladies and gentlemen, Mheshimiwa Jagwa tafadhali. Dakika 1 tu tugotee tafadhali jameni. Wapi nduru ya Mheshimiwa Starehe? Ako area. Bwana Jagwari. Bwana.
Mukopoa, Your Excellency, leaders of Kenya Kwanza, all protocols observed. Mimi sitachukua time mob kuongea hapa. Kwanza ni kukushukuru sana kwa sababu wewe tu ndiye ule kiongozi tuko na yeye ambaye anashikana na vijana. Mimi nakumbuka siku moja nilikuja kwa ofisi yako wakati nilichaguliwa kama mbunge na nikakuomba ukaniambia unataka kuingiana na vijana. Na wakati nilikuja kwa ofisi ukaniambia ujui unaweza patana nao wapi. Ukaniuliza ama twende kwa kanisa tutawapata huko. Nikakwambia town vijana wanapiganga shughuli. Kwa hivyo mostly huwezi wapata kwa makanisa. Na wakati uliniuliza tufanyie vijana nini Your Excellency, nikakwambia vijana wanataka tu vitu kidogo, unaongea nao. Kama kijana anataka mradi unampatia mradi. Na nakumbuka Your Excellency tukapigia vijana kama 3 4. Na wengine tukauliza wanataka miradi gani. Wengine wakasema car wash, wengine wakasema mikokoteni, wengine wakasema wheelbarrow. Na mimi nakumbuka hiyo siku ukaniuliza Jagwa, mimi Your Excellency, Deputy President, mimi nitaweza kununua wheelbarrow aje nipatie vijana. Mimi nikakwambia vijana hiyo ndio vitu wanataka, kwa sababu wao hataki kupewa, wanataka wajipigie shughuli na waendelee na maisha yao. Kwa hivyo Your Excellency, mimi nakushukuru sana kwa kusimama na vijana. Na sisi kama wale vijana wako karibu na wewe, sisi tutakuwa tunakukumbusha zile promises mumeahidi vijana, kwa sababu najua maybe unaweza kuwa busy ukiwa rais. Kwa hivyo sisi na akina Korila hapa, akina Theuri, akina Nyoro, tutakuwa wakukusukuma ili kama kuna kitu ulipromise vijana inafikia vijana. Sitaki niongee sana, asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Jagwa. I think now we can move forward and sign the charter. So Katelo, nataka kuita wadosi hapa wakuja tufanye commitment.
Yes.
I'm going to call the legal team. Commitment kwanza tafadhali. Let's have Karobia and Yvonne. Karobia, Yvonne and Newton, wherever you are. Karibuni sana, so that we can have this commitment. Then after that we are going to sign it. Karibu sana.
Karibu sana. Newton.
Vijana mpo? Tukisema vijana mnasema freedom is coming. Vijana! 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 JF Kennedy once said, if not us, who? If not now, when? And as young people of this country, we have always been on the front line to ask what the country can do for us. But today, in Kenya Kwanza, as young people, we are saying, before you do to us, then this is what we are going to do for this country. And just before I read them, I want to join everyone here who was personal in regards to the opportunities they have been given. I was given an opportunity by the Speaker of the National Assembly to be his spokesperson at the age of 31 years, and I am very grateful for that. This is our commitment as young people. One, we commit to embrace peace, unity, cohesion, fight radicalism, curb antisocial behavior and violent extremism of our youth by promoting national values, cohesion and unity. Our commitment number two, we are saying to ensure and to commit to patriotism and participation through the spirit of Kenya Kwanza. Our commitment number three is to be ready and able to step up and take the baton of leadership and responsibility for the common good from the generation ahead of us on time and without fail. Vijana, freedom is coming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yvonne. So on the commitment, Your Excellency, as youth in Kenya, we are committing to protect the environment and to fight climate change. Also, as youth in Kenya, we are committing to campaign for 70% of the youth vote. As youth in Kenya, we are also committing to protect and guarding our votes. Thank you.
Yes, as part of our commitment, we are going to promote the rule of law in our country. We are also going to pay tax. Your Excellency, tumekuwa tukiambiwa vijana hatutaki kulipa tax, but as part of our commitment, we are going to pay tax through our enterprises. The other thing is that we are not going to participate in violence during the election. And the other commitment is that we are going to have grassroots mobilization. We are going to have town hall meetings to ensure that we popularize the Kenya Kwanza Youth Charter that we are going to sign today. Your Excellency, wacha niongea Kiswahili kidogo. Sisi vijana hapa tumekuwa tukipiga kelele sana kwamba sisi tuko na potential mingi. But nowadays, we are not going to talk about potential. We are going to talk about the reality of young people in our nation. So, Your Excellency and Kenya Kwanza principals and my fellow young people, Kenya Kwanza is the best deal for us. Whatever we are going to sign here is what is going to determine our space in government. And I know, Your Excellency, your track record speaks volumes in regards to empowerment of young people in government opportunities and also in the economic empowerment. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you so much. Wapigieni makofi tafadhali one more time. I'm going to take this opportunity now. Nimuite Amira. Amira akuje akaribishe boss so that boss can make his remarks. So mabibi na mabwana, jameni, tumpigieni Amira makofi mwanangu anapo njoo hapa tuongeleshe bwana. Karibu sana Amira.
Good evening everyone. In the spirit of freedom coming and in the spirit of youthfulness, I would like to request you guys to hold your hand up. Hold your hands up and repeat after me. Viva vijana viva! Viva vijana viva! Viva Ruto viva! Viva Musalia viva! Viva hustlers viva! Your Excellency, the 5th President of our country, my political father and the party leader of my party, ANC, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Before I call you here to witness or to sign the charter, Your Excellency, I would just like to proceed and add a few words to our commitment. Your Excellency, as the youth of this country, we take our whole life battling and battling, trying to be seen, to be heard, and to be taken seriously. Your Excellency, being young in Kenya is honestly really scary. So as Your Excellency, you being here today, taking part in this exercise, proves that Kenya Kwanza is a listening government. Any sane Kenyan voter will demand that you're sworn in immediately. As the youth of this country, we volunteer and commit ourselves to be vijana wa mkono for a revolutionized country and for a better Kenya under the leadership of Kenya Kwanza, if that is what it will take. They say the light is at the end of the tunnel, but you, Your Excellency, is the light for millions of Kenyans and those of them who are gathered here today. Gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to call the 5th President of our country, Honorable William Musalia Mudavadi, because he has had our commitments, and we will now like to take the opportunity to hear you commit to the youth of this country and this blessed night. Honorable Honorable William Ruto.
Sioni! Hey! Twende! Hey! Sawa.
Good evening, everybody. Let's take our seat. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Kenya Kwanza team, and we have a very big, formidable team here this evening, I want to thank the young people of our nation. I want to thank our present and our future for sharing these moments with us, sharing your passion, your desires, what you want for your future with us. I want to tell you, I am going to sign the Youth Charter in bold. And let me say the following, that we already determined that this election is about the economy. But the face of that economy, in our first bullet of what we need to do in the bottom-up economic model, the majority at the bottom of the pyramid are the millions of young people who are unemployed, who are struggling with startups, who are working on their hustles. And I want to tell you, we are serious in our focus at the bottom of the pyramid, and we are serious in making sure that we lift everybody up. Bottom up is not a slogan. Bottom up is a program. And that is why I want to ask of you, the young people of our nation, this is a defining moment in the history of our country. This is not a moment you want to be a bystander. This is not a moment you want to watch from the sidelines. This is a moment you should be right in the middle of the action. And I want to ask every young person in Kenya, whichever way you want to vote, but you must vote. You must wake up and vote. And I want to urge you, as you go to vote, vote wisely. For a long time, we voted tribe, we voted region, we voted other issues. This time round, let us vote our interests. The art of politics is not about friendship. It's not about tribe. It's not about religion. It's about interests. And at this point in time, if there is one thing we must sort out in Kenya, is the youth bulge and the unemployment that comes with it. I promise the young people of our nation that all investments that we are going to make in every sector, those investments are going to target how we are going to create jobs at every step, in every way, so that we can engage the energy, the knowledge, the talent, and the expertise of the young people of our nation. We are determined to make sure that our young people are no longer considered part of the problem. We are determined to make the young people of our nation part of the solution, if not the solution to the issues that affect our nation. So, good people, front, left, center, and back, whatever it is that we will be doing, the young people will be at the center. The employment of the young people will be at the center. And that is why this evening was so important to us, because we were speaking to the present and the future of our nation. I want to thank you very much for sparing time to share this moment with us, to participate in this conversation, and to shape the future of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I know we said that there will be no speeches, and I don't intend to make one. I think I should stop. I am going to just introduce the Kenya Kwanza team here. I will start with Anto. Anto is our candidate in Makadara. I have Nixon Generali Korir from Langata. I have McDonald Mariga from Kibra. I have Karongo Dhangwa from Kiambu. I have that young man is called Medho from Nyandarua, senator candidate for Nyandarua. Mwalimu Sosion, you know him. Simba from Laikipia, Kate Waruguru. Kijana Keter from Nakuru. Samson Ndindi Nyoro from Keharu, Member of Parliament from Keharu, and among the youngest members in our team. Mr. Rotich, our governor candidate from Elgeyo Marakwet, a young person. Swag Master, George Deuri. You can see he's there complete with his bag. Whatever is in the bag, nobody knows. He told me that he was having roast maize. And then, of course, our one and only Johnson Arthur Sakaja, the governor candidate of whoever is working on the mic should tell us whether fundi wa mitambo alipotea ama alienda wapi. There used to be a famous guy called fundi wa mitambo.
Check.
Okay. Are we there? Is that better? So I have introduced Johnson Sakaja, our governor candidate for the great city of Nairobi, a member of the Kenya Kwanza lead team, Alfred Mutua, the governor of Machakos, aka Chap Chap. And then I have in the house Justin Bidan Muturi, the Speaker of the National Assembly and a member of the Kenya Kwanza lead team. Of course, the one and only Papa wa Roma, Moses Masika Wetangula, the deputy captain of our team, Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua. Okay, let me start on the other end. I have a young man, the Secretary General of Amani National Congress. And then I have Jambaya Rorere, the one and only Moses Kuria from Kiambu. He wants to be governor of Kiambu. And then we have Pius Ababu Namwamba Smart. And then we have the leader of the pastoralist community in Kenya, the one and only Aden Bare Duale. And then, of course, Earthquake himself. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, aka Earthquake. I think for the moment that is the Kenya Kwanza team that is here. And then of course we have Cherargei there, Senator Cherargei from Nandi. We already introduced Kanyi Jaguar. So that's the member of our team. I want to say thank you very much. I have Francis Mureithi there and many other people. Thank you. I can't see you properly. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, boss. Wapi makofi ya His Excellency tafadhali. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Let's appreciate His Excellency, the incoming 5th President of Kenya. I'm going to request SGUDA and SGANC, TSP, DP, and all the affiliate parties to kindly join us on stage, please. All our SGs, please, you can join us on stage. And then I'm going to introduce my learned friend here who is going to take us through the signing. So all the SGs of our affiliate parties, please just join us on stage. My learned friend, karibu sana.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. Youth power. Youth power. Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Salma Ochieng, and I stand on this stage having been mentored by you in 2014 to join the leadership space, and this is the space where we currently are. Your Excellency, this being a youth charter, we would want the youth to own the document first before we move into the process of you and your principals affixing your signatures. Youth, are you ready? Yes. Youth power. Power. Youth power. When I say youth power, you say freedom is coming. Youth power. Youth power. Freedom is coming. Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, my colleague who was the document, just leave it open. And I want to put the question to you, the congregation, the convention that is seated here, that this youth charter, today the 27th of June, be adopted as a policy to form part of the youth manifesto. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. We will not have the question on contrary opinion, so the ayes have it. Thank you. It is in triplicate, so Your Excellency. Where is the other one? In triplicate, right? Let's give a round of applause to His Excellency. He has affirmed that he will work with all the youth of this country from all corners, and you will form 70% into his government. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Because I will not be doing this. I think we can, if we can hold that, kidogo, eh? Because I will not be doing this alone. I want to ask the party leaders who are here to come and countersign this document so that it becomes not a personal commitment, but a collective commitment. Because as a Kenya Kwanza fraternity, I think I want to do that. Can I start with my good deputy to come forward, followed by Musalia?
Let's give a round of applause to His Excellency the Earthquake as he makes his way to